It always seems to take a minute for it to show up. It never looks like it's in Facebook or YouTube immediately, which is weird. So weird, so weird, so weird. Hey Lisa, how are you? So I am on YouTube. It doesn't show me as going on to YouTube. Let me put the link back in again. It might just be like I do it too immediately. No, there's YouTube, but it's still not showing on Facebook. There we go. It's just Monday night messages. I'm doing readings for money, basically. Anybody who wants to buy a reading can buy a reading for $25. So I'm going to try and be on more. And if people don't buy readings, then I'll just chat. It'll be just a chat time. But I need to make money. So that's what I'm trying to do. If you want to share out the stream, you certainly can. That would be a huge help. I'm going to try and do that myself. I'm trying to figure that out right now. Here we go. No, let's not hear myself while we're doing this. How do I do this again? I don't even remember how to do this. This is how bad I am at this. Hold on. I'm going to try and be on more. And let's turn the volume down first off. Share. Join us for readings. I hope I can share this in places where I'm sharing it. We'll see. How are you doing? I hope I can share it there. Hey, Tammy Sylvester, how are you? Next week for me, I'll definitely share. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of unclear on which of these groups I can share paid readings to and which ones I can't. So I don't know. But that'll start it off at least. And anybody else, if you all want to share, you can. Hey, Shannon Watson, how are you? I've been good. I'm just online trying to make some money, trying to do some readings for people if anybody's interested. The Linktree link that I'm posting in the chat has my PayPal account on it, my PayPal link. You would send $25 there. I have decks set up. You can choose your decks. We did this last night sort of for Charm Night. It kind of went well. There'll be sort of fast and dirty readings, in a way, like not fast and dirty, but they'll be quick readings. They will have clarifiers. So it will be, extensive, let's say, but I will move quickly, speak quickly because I'm selling these at $25. Mama needs money, basically. So we have group 1, group 2, and group 3. You get to pick the deck that you want to use, and I will do it right here on the desk for you. That's the plan. That's what we did last night. I'm only probably going to do like 3 or 4, just because that's all I want to really do. I only am probably going to be on maybe a little bit, about an hour, 2 hours max, depending on how interested people are about this. If they choose to do it, just raise your hand and let me know. And if you don't, then great, that's fine too. There's no obligation, but it is a way for me to make money, which I need to do right now. So for some of you that don't know, I was driving for Uber Eats and I wrecked my car and I lost my car. So I am trying to find ways of getting myself out there. Please share the stream out anywhere you'd like to. Please like the stream, follow the business page if you can. Follow the Tammy, if you want to cash in yours for April, or actually, you can cash one in for March, you never cashed in your March Charming. So if you want to cash in your March Charming, I'll give you one for your March Charming for the Patreon page. So I'm happy to do that for you, Tammy. If you want, that's available to you. You just donated. That's why I was willing to give you your March Charming, Tammy, because you're always so good to me. If you want to give away the other reading to somebody, however you want to do it, you decide. Because I don't know if I can send you back your PayPal money. I don't know how. I never have. I could probably figure it out. But however you want to do it, you let me know. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to probably try and come on every night or at least a couple nights a week, more so than you guys are normally used to seeing me. I've been kind of hiding, trying not to do this because it's funny. Let me get back on camera because I feel like I'm talking more directly to you than you guys looking at a bunch of decks. Okay, so what's been going on for me also is that this is what I want to be doing as my business, but I've also been really leery about being on camera, online, putting myself out there, asking people to buy readings. I don't feel like I should have to. It's weird. I don't want to feel like I'm forcing people to buy readings. I don't like to have to ask to buy readings. I want to believe that the people that need me will find their way to me. But if people don't understand that I do this as a business, a lot of people come to me and go, oh, can I please get a free card? Can I please get a free card? And I don't mind doing free nights time at some times, but there are also times where I need to make my money too, period. And I want this to be my business. I enjoy doing this. I think it helps people. It makes me feel like I'm serving a purpose, a better purpose than like working in a regular, in a job somewhere. So it's something that gives me joy that I think I want to monetize. So in an effort to do so, and I think that part of that wreck for me while driving in Uber Eats was like a little bit of a wake-up call, like, okay, kid, you're avoiding doing the thing that you want to be doing, trying to make money over here. And you need to sell your wares, so to speak. This is what I like to do. This is what I feel as though I'm good at. I'm not to toot my own horn, but beep, beep. And so I'm putting myself out there and I'm leaving it up to the audiences to decide, so to speak. If you guys would be so kind as to share the stream out, share me with your friends, follow my Instagram. My Instagram's kind of boring. I don't keep up on it. I'm not really an Instagram person. I do have a TikTok. I didn't put it on my thing. I'm not sure what to do with my TikTok just yet. It's usually just me being a little goofy, but I'm going to try and figure out how to turn it into more of a tarot thing. My Patreon page is there. The daily forecast is up every day. There's ways to interact with me daily in the mornings. Some of you do. So this is just an effort to really make a concerted effort to try and build this the way that I want it. Even though, and I think there's a part of me that's fearful, right? There's part of me that, I want this and I want to believe that it's a reality, but there's also that sort of, I don't know, that voice in my head that tells me we can't have what we want in life. I don't know where the fuck we learn that voice, but excuse my language, but that voice really screws with me sometimes. I've watched a lot of people in my life that I love dearly, like elders, ancestors, family members, friends, suffer. Doing things that they're miserable doing because they don't want to be doing them, but they feel they have to be to make ends meet or whatever. And I do the same thing because if we grow up into that sort of belief system, we grow up into that societal norm, we grow up into that sort of what we're told and we do what we're told. And so I'm making an attempt to break free. Break free, girl. I'm trying to be, I don't know, the reader that I want to be. I want to help people through my readings. I want to give people insight, give them validation, support. Anything that I say in any of my readings, though, should not be taken over your own intelligence and your own intuition. That's the first and foremost important part about my readings. I believe that everybody should believe in themselves enough that they can hear the information I give them, take it, utilize it, and fit it into their picture of what's going on. And then make their decision. It's their sole responsibility, that decision. I don't want to take away anybody's free will. I'm not here to tell anybody how to be or how to live your life or yada, yada, yada. I'm still figuring out how to live my own, right? but I do want to help and assist people. And the way that I feel like I can help and assist is through looking at the cards, maybe picking up on things and being a complete stranger and bringing it back to you and delivering it back to you through a reading empowers you, because you're like, oh yeah, I did know that. Shit. I'm not like as daft at this as I think. It's the same thing I do to myself, right? We're all mirrors for each other in a weird way. And so that's what I'm trying to do in a nutshell. And so Monday Messages was just a name that I came up with because I'm trying to get myself back onto being online. I was online quite a bit a few years ago, and I got kind of self-conscious about it and stopped doing it except for Sundays. And I felt that I didn't feel as though I should ask people to come and support me in my business, but I really need people to, or else people won't find out about my business. And then I don't have a business. And then I do stupid things like go scramble around for Uber Eats and wreck my car. So that's my truth today. How's your truth? So I was thinking of things like Messages Monday, where it can be any kind of messages you want. Like you get to choose, like, I want a love message, I want a career message, I want a this message, right? Message Monday is whatever you want your reading on, your choice. Boom. Tarot Tuesday, obviously, we're only going to use tarot decks. Maybe it'll just be a class or learning something. I don't know. I was thinking Wellness Wednesday, and I am not a doctor, people. I might look like I play one on TV, a very old doctor at that, but I am not a doctor. But we can look at health and wellness. Where are we needing to place our health and wellness, right? Readings about that. Again, these readings will be paid though, guys. But it'll be like, is my mental health correct today? Or is it my physical health that might need addressing? Is it my emotional health that needs a look at? What comes up in the cards? What are we seeing? Are we seeing more cups cards? Are we seeing why we're maybe feeling a certain way? And helping to uncover that sort of stuff, because certainly I need help doing that myself. I spend a lot of time mulling that stuff about. So that's what I was thinking about for Wednesdays. I can't remember. I had ideas for Thursdays and Fridays, and I'm just sort of rolling these ideas out. I don't know that I want to be the guy that's on camera every day of the week, but if I have to be in the starting to make this grow, then I will. I really want the YouTube channel to grow. I've been working at it for over 2 years, and if I'm being completely honest, I'm getting to a point where I was thinking about giving everything up. That's why I turned towards Uber and was starting to make money there. Was because I was thinking about stopping doing everything. Not that I don't want to do it. I was thinking that maybe this isn't the right road for me. Maybe it's just not happening. It's not, unfolding. It was unfolding, but like very, very slowly. So I have to give it one last try, because we don't want to give up on our dreams, right? And this would be a dream of mine. This would be something that I want to do. This is something that makes me feel like I serve a purpose. So that's why I'm here. Is that a big answer for you guys? I think it is. There goes the neighborhood looking at my mental health. Mary says that. Sorry, I was getting ice cream off my toddler. Are there any other ways to send you money to have a reading? Shannon Watson, why are you stealing ice cream from a toddler girl? Now, you're my kind of girl. I would hang out with you. Go for the toddlers. They're always easy to nab. Get that ice cream, girl. So in this Engelgeist link tree, there is my PayPal link. That's how you would send payment for a reading. I know that there's a way to do it through Facebook payments too, but I'm not sure how. Some people PayPal me through Facebook payments first. They pay me and it somehow ends up in my Facebook. It ends up in my PayPal, but they go through a place called Facebook payments. I'm not sure how that works. That's on their end. Mary does it all the time. Hey, Christina Davis Buffkin, how are you? The spiritual doctor is in. I am not a doctor by any means. Trust me. Most of the time I need a friggin' doctor. Let me tell you, like I do. But hi, Vicky. And thank you for all the decks too, by the way, Vicky. We have some beautiful decks coming that will be unboxed in the weeks to unfold, that we'll get to see, that were gifts from some of the viewers, Vicky being one of them, Mary being another. There's been quite a few here that have been sent. So I'm really excited about that too. We've got a lot of stuff changing through Messenger, Mary says. So that's another way. LOL, no, I was cleaning her. Sure, Shannon, sure. Cleaning the little girl. Let me just clean up that ice cream cone for you. There looks like there's a speck of dirt there. Hold on. I know how you roll, girl. All right. So I don't know if you need to have PayPal to use Facebook Messenger Pay. I'm not sure, but it comes into my PayPal. Somehow my PayPal is hooked up to Facebook Messenger Pay, I believe, through Messenger is what Mary does it. So that's how it comes into my PayPal. So you might be able to send me money via Messenger. I'm not exactly sure how. Hey, Angie Lynch from Ireland. I feel like your name is familiar. So anyways, like I said, if you looked at the title of the video, tonight is paid readings, guys. A hoe needs to eat is essentially the theme of the evening. So I need to eat. I need to make money. It's not like free card for me. It's I will invest in my information and buy a reading. That's what it is. $25 with clarifiers. Pretty thorough. It's going to be fast and dirty because technically what I'm doing is I'm giving you my $50 reading live in front of an audience quickly, essentially. If you see how I lay out the cards, this is what I would do in a private session with someone, but I would go more slowly and get more explanatory and in more detail. But this is me just doing quick fire pulse, boom, 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 boom. There you go, and move on kind of thing. Does that make sense? Because it's also more affordable for you guys. And it gets me out here doing this more. So that's the plan. For those of you that want to stay and watch, you certainly can. Sometimes people say that they listen to my readings and they're like, whoa, it sounds like you're talking exactly to me. That's fine. It might be something you need to hear. It doesn't necessarily mean that even though somebody else purchased the reading for themselves, that the message that I'm saying to them, you're not in vibration to that person. You could be very much going through similar situations. So just because you don't have money to buy a reading doesn't necessarily mean that you can't sit here, listen, and maybe get some information that might fit in your life too. So there's that. All right. So, and also there's a free daily reading that I put out every day on my YouTube channel. That's free content. And the free monthly Tarot, that's free content. So I also have pick-a-cards and things like that on my YouTube channel. All of that is free. So if you're looking for free stuff, you can certainly check it out there. Tonight is a paid night. I know, I saw that. Vicky, you sent payment to me. Thank you. So I got it, and so did Tammy. So Tammy, how do you want to do yours? Do you want to do, hello, Dan, I think the site I went to was one said, I did 25 yesterday, nothing. Today I said 25 using the request button. Oh my God, why is it requesting money from you? I'm confused. Is it requesting? Oh yeah, because you hit request. So hold on. I'm going to decline that, Vicky. Decline this request from email, Vicky, letting you know that you declined the money request. Yes. So you have to hit send money, not request money, Vicky. So I've denied your request. I'm not paying you to give you a reading, Vicky, if that's what you're thinking. But if any of you want to, Vicky, you're one of my top tier people on Patreon too. If you want to cash in for your reading tonight for the month of April, you can. Because you're at the 33 level, aren't you, Vicky? Or am I wrong about that? I can't remember if you are. Do Mary and Lisa, Tammy, you want to give away both of yours? I did Mary last night. Are you sure? Because I mean, it's up to you. It's your choice, Tammy. So you tell me what you want me to do. So Vicky, if you want to cash in your, if you wanted a reading tonight, you could certainly cash in. Hey, Jaylyn, how are you? If you wanted a reading tonight, you could certainly cash in your Patreon reading tonight, Vicky. I wouldn't mind doing that. I know it's normally for Charmings, but I'll do a card reading instead. It's up to you. And Tammy, same. Was she good? Was Mary good? Mary's always good. It was actually a really lovely reading. But we talked about it this morning. Mary messaged me about it this morning, and I called her, and we talked on the phone. So it was really, it was kind of emotional for, I think, both of us a little bit. It was a little bit sort of sappy. You can watch it on the video from last night. You gave me $100. Tammy! You're not supposed to do that. Thank you, Tammy. So let me do a reading for you, Tammy. To those of you that do this for me, like Vicky does it, Tammy does it, there's a few of you that are like really big supporters that support me in very large ways. Karen Stringer's another one. I want to thank you all. Like, you guys don't even know what it means right now. It's really huge. So I want to say thank you to that, because you guys sort of just jump in and take care of me in a lot of different ways. And you keep me going in a lot of ways. Like, it's weird. It's hard to explain, but I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right. I'm going somewhere in 5 minutes. Okay, Tammy, you can cash in on any night, any time. Like, seriously, because I'll be on throughout the week and whatever. We'll be doing this more often. Just say, I want to cash in on a reading, because you've done me a service. So don't worry about that. All right. So let's get into this. All right. So Mary's saying she wants a financial reading. So I'm going to give her one on your behalf, Tammy, and I'll give one to Lisa, because she's saying thank you, Tammy, because they've seen you now. Offer them the readings. So I will give them to her, and I'll give them to them. And because you sent that $100, I didn't even realize it was $100. Because you sent that, don't worry, it'll just be a wash. Like, we'll get your charming and another couple readings in for you this month. Okay. So let's start. General love for Lisa, financial reading for Mary. That shouldn't take very long, right, Mary? I'm kidding. And then Vicky, are you you're going to cash in your reading, correct? Just give me a yes or no on that. Sorry for anybody that's new to the channel that's like thinking I'm a little bit scattered. I'm just trying to, it's sometimes my regular viewers, it can be like herding cats a little bit. Thanks, Jalen. Welcome to the channel, dear. So I just want to make sure Vicky is cashing in her Patreon reading. She gets one Patreon reading a month. So I'm going to switch cameras so you guys can see the decks. And like I said, it'll be quick and dirty, live in person, and we'll get this done. So we've got deck group number 1. We've got the deck, tarot, and clarifiers. These are similar, the same deck. We've got deck group number 2. This is tarot and tarot. This is like what was that show? Bachelor number 1, Bachelor number 2, Bachelor number 3. It's so exciting. And then we have deck number 3. And the difference about deck number 3, and we used this last night, is that deck number 3, she's tarot and she is oracle. So this one's a little bit different. This one makes me a little bit nervous because I don't necessarily clarify with oracle cards. Last night was my first time ever doing it. I was an oracle clarifying virgin. They threw me in the volcano and everything worked out fine. So there's that. So those are the 3 decks that we get to choose from for the readings tonight. And I may change these decks on different nights. Like on Wellness Wednesdays, it'll be decks that are geared more towards health and healing. Tarot Tuesday will only be tarot decks. It'll be, you know, we'll see how it goes. There's no day of the week with an O for like oracle, whatever. So we'll figure it out though. Oh, that was what I was going to do. Fridays might be Feng Shui Fridays, where we do the bagua. Remember, with the coins and the wood chips on the Feng Shui bagua, where I bring that style reading out for Friday nights. All right, so let's get into this, guys. You're dating deck 2 today. So we've got deck 2 for Mary for finances. Okay, she needs this deck for finances. Let me tell you, you'll see why in a minute. She needs this deck for finances. And then Lisa, I will get to you in one moment with your love reading. So let's see what's going on. You know what? Bitch, we better do the damn thing. Let's do it right? And if anybody's, just so you know, like my regular viewers, for those of you that are new, my regular viewers know me and they know how I talk when I swear or anything like that. It's just me being saucy. I'm not meaning anything by it. My regular viewers know that. But there might be some of you that might be tuning in live via YouTube or whatever. It's all in fun and humor and play. So if swearing offends you or anything like that, don't take it personally. It's not meant that way. It's just me being a little bit potty mouthed. I also have the sense of humor of like a 12-year-old boy. So just be prepared for that. Okay, so we just want to sage those off because we are doing some finance reading here. And let's get into this. Okay, so for Mary Lyman and her finances. Thank you, Jalen. All right, Mary Lyman, what would she need to know about her finances? And I'll explain to you why this deck is perfect for your finances, Mary, in just one moment. First off, I love that it's got the gold border. We've got this bright gold border there, so let's bring it for the gold, like bring in the ducats, the gold coins, right? So that's kind of cool for finance right there that you chose this. Let's watch that coin come in. What does Mary need to know? Jalen, please feel free to subscribe to the channel and let people know about me. I've been trucking around YouTube for like 2 years trying to build the channel. I've been struggling, so any support would be greatly appreciated. All right, Mary, the cards feel ready there. Let's see. All right, so we're going to go right down the center like we always do, but this is going to be a financial reading. So in the center, where you're centered at, is the 9 of Pentacles, Mary. This is not a bad card for finances. You're kicking off with Pentacles right out of the gate. I like that. Let me tilt this light down a little bit better. Can I? No. Can you see that card? I hope you can. Let me see. All right, so let me show you her. She is kind of like Miss Independent. She's like sort of the Kelly Clarkson card, right? She's always depicted as a woman sort of standing in a field. She's got her falcon. She has a very abundant grape field usually. She has everything she needs. She doesn't necessarily have love. That's the one thing she's lacking, but it's like she's the kind of lady that she's like, you know what? I don't need love. I've got everything else. I'm good. Like, don't worry. So I like that she's in your center because the center tells me this is sort of where you're focused at and where you're centering yourself at. So we're looking at getting things in order, and we have a really strong card to do that with, right? Or really strong focus, energy, attention that we're placing on this. This couldn't even be like a better card unless it was like, say, the Queen or the King of Pentacles, in my opinion, because the Knight of Pentacles would be too slow and the Page would be a little bit dippy. The 9 is really like kind of good gig. 10 would be good too. But the 9 really speaks to me doing it on my own, me making it happen for me making it happen in my way, me knowing my shit and keeping it like above board. Do you know what I mean? She's got that vibe to it. The other reason why I like that you picked this deck is this is the Tarot of the Angels. And I was like, oh God, if she chose this deck, that means she needs some help with her finances. Angels, come in and heal her pocketbook, please. So let's see what the angels have to say about your finances. But what they are telling me right now is that you are starting or centering in a very beautiful, grounded, discerning, practical, success, set up for success, really, place, okay? Now, your foundation, this is the card from the past. It's going to tell me a bit about sort of what was going on in the past around your finances and why things are the way that they are in the rest of the cards. It's what everything's built upon. This could be the memory that's also driving the now, right? Holding everything in place in the now. So we have the 8 of Wands. I love this 8 of Wands. It's a really strange depiction, but it's beautiful. Horses always symbolize power to me, but this is always like significant movement, fast moving energy, right? Things being kind of out of control, maybe a little bit, not necessarily having a lot of, I don't feel like this is a bad card. I feel like in the past, maybe money has sort of flown in and flown right back out, if anything. Oh, sorry, is that unfocused? Money has flown in and flown right back out, where it's hard to hold on, hard to keep stable, kind of been a wild ride. We see all of these horses. You've been able to make money. It's not ever been a problem, right? But it's fleeting in a way, or it feels like it's real, like, 1 minute it's good, maybe the next it's not. 1 minute it's good, maybe the next it's not. So with this card here in the center, it feels like to me we're changing that. We're stabilizing that a little bit more. I do like that the 8 of Wands, even though this is from the past, it sits in this foundation position, which means that movement towards money for you should come quickly, right? But we don't want it coming in and then going right back out the other door. She ain't gonna let that happen. Not her, not today, not on her watch. All right, so let's go to the higher self, or the card that's above you, This tells me a bit about sort of where your spirit or your soul wants you to work on and what it wants you to like look at in your financial sector. So we have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is a sort of, it's an interesting card. It's emotions, right? I'm not bothered by it being in the spirit space. There's some healing that's going on with your spirit, certainly. The eight is about coming to terms with a situation that's been highly emotional, oftentimes volatile, that we need to sort of step away from. We come to some sort of understanding that, like, you know what? This is no longer working for me. When I see this in your spirit space, it makes me feel like there might be some sort of relationship to money that you've maybe kept in the past that is now time to step away from. I was actually talking about this tonight, you know, how when we're born into belief systems or we watch people we love struggle around money and then we don't know how to believe in ourselves and market ourselves or put ourselves out there for fear of failure because we've been told, we've been almost programmed and societally told, you know, don't go after the thing you want, do the thing that, you know, you have to do, not the right thing, but do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that sort of a message here is it's like, okay, how do we let go of I don't want to, the Eight of Cups can be a sad card, but it's also a freeing card, right? It's like this card where we've gained emotional freedom from the pains of the past, right? The learning of the past. It's like we're stepping, our spirit is asking us to look at these pains of the past, these truths or these lies that we've told ourselves in effort so that we can stand in this truth and be in that power. Does that make sense? And operate from that place. This also is a very much a healing card in the spirit space where I feel like these Eight Cups that sit up here sort of rain down upon this Nine of Pentacles, right? These emotions, whatever you're carrying emotionally, need to sort of what's the word, like balance and come to terms at a spiritual level so that she can reign supreme in the center. And she will, is my feeling. I feel like this is good work that's being done, right? This is some of that emotionality that we saw in the reading from you last night, but this is just sort of, you know, all of the emotions that you have going on within you at the spirit level, as you face them, deal with them, work with them, they sort of better your financial situation. They're going to stabilize you because you're coming to an adult sort of terms with them where they don't control you. You get to interact with them in ways that serve you more so than them like driving you, if that makes sense. Now, the next two cards are what I call the outside influences. These are things that are influencing you either positively or negatively during this time around your finances. So we have the Two of Wands. It's interesting. She's got this, like, I think it's a mirror, but it looks like a coin. Let me look at her. Wands is fire energy, and Wands is very fast-moving energy. And normally the Two of Wands would not indicate a court card, but this to me appears like a court card. It almost feels like this woman wants to offer her something. And this is something that I'm just going off of the design of the card, right? Look at how her leg is up on the, if you can see, her leg is up there. She's got that hot pink staff. Who doesn't like a hot pink staff, right? But she's got that hot pink staff, and she's got this, to me, even though this is Wands, it appears like she's got a ducat here. Like she's got some coins for you. She's got some advice. This might be going after the thing that you desire. That would be the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands energy, or the meaning of the card, is about sort of formulating a plan or a desire, coming to terms with what it is that we want. But this being the outside influence, yes, there's opportunity to sort of formulate that plan or start to begin to take that action towards that desire. But that action, and until I see this other card, I feel like there might be somebody that comes along to help you with that. I feel like this feels like a court card to me. It just might be the design, but it definitely gives me court vibes. Like, where if it was a court card, I would say, oh, it's a, you know, a person that's here to help you, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like this is a female that's here to help you, show you the way financially, and she'll do it quickly. That's Wands energy. She will show you how to get it worked out. So the next card is the Death card. Wow. Okay. This is one of the most beautiful death cards I've ever seen in a deck. I have to say that. There is light at the end of the tunnel, is what I'm going to say about this. Yes, maybe financially we've been strapped, things have been hard. I feel like this is the end of that. This is the transformation of that. Yes, it's been hard, probably been hard leading up to this moment. It might still be a little bit hard for a minute, but you need to stand strong and keep your focus on that light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. It will transform and it will change. And I feel like this card is going to give us the opportunity to sort of open up that change once we get over to the other side of the transformation that takes place in death. Death is associated with Scorpio energy. It is major arcana, so it's got a little bit of a bigger punch to it than any of these other cards. It is an outside influence. So if you've been experiencing upheaval, I wouldn't be surprised if you experience some financial upheaval. Don't let it sweat it. Like, you'll be all right. It's always about getting to another state of being. But you also can see that change of state of being happening up here in the soul space with this Eight of Cups too. And there's movement in the foundation of the Eight of Wands. So you are moving towards something. Interesting too, I just noticed that you have an 8 above you and an 8 below you. 8s often represent balance, or retaining that balance, gaining that balance back in our life. So financially, that's also sort of beneficial. I like all of that. Now, before I pull the outcome card, I'm going to do clarifiers really quick, just to look at the clarifiers. And I'm going to go fast with the clarifiers, guys. Alex, you sent PayPal? Okay, great. Thank you. I will check that in just one moment. Let me finish this reading here. Let me shuffle for clarifiers on all of these cards, please, just so we can get a little bit further information. Especially that 2 of Wands and that Death card. I feel like that Death card is something that maybe you've been in for a while now. It feels like you've been in a tunnel for a while around your finances. You're doing the best you can. And you're not alone there too. Like, this is like the unemployment line, the COVID unemployment line right here. It's like everybody's sort of suffering right now, and they're just all trying to find their way to that other side. But I do think this 2 of Wands indicates there is a way for you. There's something that's happening. Something's changing. All right, so I'm going to just separate these guys just a little bit to make some space. Okay, on this 9 of Pentacles, we have 9 of Pentacles. Mary, why you bugging, girl? You've got a 9 of Pentacles on the 9 of Pentacles. You saw me shuffle. I shit you not, okay? We don't even need to read that. It's just doubled down your energy there. It's like you've got it together. Stay strong, stay grounded, stay with your focus on your money. Continue to create, know that you know what is right. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. We've got the 4 of Pentacles. He's a little stingy. But 4s, to me, I always say this: 4 legs on a table bring about stability. He's going to be mindful about money and being frugal right now. I would say be frugal with your money. He might be a bit of a warning, only because we have this Death card out here. I do like that he's still in the House of Pentacles, though, so we're still about the money. It might take a little bit of time to get to this 9 of Pentacles, so just be smart with what it is you do have, but don't hold on to it out of fear. That would be the only warning with him. And then the last card is the 5 of Wands. Now, the 5 of Wands, this is the card that I call the whole lot of fuckery card. Be careful about others and their feelings about your money, or how you spend your money, what you do with your money, their opinions. There's always a competitive nature. Somebody's always bound to get hurt. It could be a little bit like just stupidish, right? It's always, 5s to me are always transitory too. She rises above that. This double 9 of Pentacles says to me, this is beneath her. So don't get caught up in other people and their worries or their problems with you and your money, or them and their money, right? Like, don't be, and excuse the phrase, but don't be Captain Save-A-Ho when it comes to other people and their mismanagement of funds too, right? Because there could be a little bit of that. And that's why this is sitting on this 4 of Pentacles. You may need some of your Pentacles for yourself in the interim. So if anybody comes at you sideways with a whole lot of like, I need this, blah, 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 don't entertain it, is my feeling. All right, let's go to the 8 of Wands. We've got the 7 of Cups, which is confusion, too many choices, emotions, that sort of a thing. And remember, this is in the past. This is about maybe money coming in and going out a little bit too swiftly, was my feeling. The Queen of Swords, clear thinking, truth, honesty, cutting things away, setting things go, And again, keeping this in the past, maybe decisions that we made that said about things that brought us to where we are today, right? There's a responsibility, I feel like, with this queen, that even though we might have had some confusion or we weren't really sure which decision to make, we did make that decision. We did get led down that path. The horses were set free and headed that direction. So we have to live with that. And again, here's our Eight of Cups energy down here. And it's interesting, we have the Eight of Cups down here and we have this Eight of Cups up here. What financial situation did you make in the past where it may have caused you more confusion, sadness, or upset, and you did it from a place of trying to maybe do the right thing and it maybe wasn't exactly right? That's kind of the question that happens here. You're asking again up here in the spirit space to come to terms with that. Let that go. Step into this Nine of Pentacles energy that's waiting for you, that should be around you, that should be within you. You're okay. Like, this is in the past, but it's like this Eight of Pentacles sits underneath all of this, and it's up here, your spirit's saying, hey, remember that time when? So let's look at this and see what it's got up here. We've got the Four of Wands. I love it. Wands is always about the spirit, fire, taking action, desire, right? And also this Eight of Pentacles with this Four of Wands sitting over here, and I told you this Two of Wands is going to be your help. I like that this Four of Wands energy is automatically like connecting in the spirit space and connecting to this Two of Wands energy, right? They're naturally going to be kind of pulled towards one another energy-wise. Does that make sense? So even though we might feel a bit like we're dealing with old past emotions and thoughts and stuff like that at our spirit and soul level, this Four of Wands is Wands energy, which is spirit energy, right? It's going to draw us to a place where we can hopefully commune with this Two of Wands and create something that's worth celebrating. Let's see, we've got the Ten of Cups. Like, that's the wishes and dreams fulfilled. This is like finding, I would say this is emotional abundance, right? But this could also indicate feeling so good that it doesn't matter how much finances we need, we feel good in the end. We are okay. We've released whatever it was that's back here, and we've become free again, right? And then we have the Lovers. And we saw this is getting into that territory of last night's reading. You've had this card last night too. And I think that, again, this is about reunions, choices being made, and people coming back into your life that are very important to you. And all of that is all stemming from this. So I know that this is a financial reading, but there's also this thing with you. As you make your finances okay, other areas of your life are also getting okay too. I hope that makes sense to you. Let's look at this Two of Wands because I'm really intrigued. We've got the Hermit. That's Virgo energy, spiritual, deep knowing, somebody that's going to have done this homework, done the study, done the deep dive, and is aware of what they can and cannot make, create, have, that sort of a thing. They're going to do it. Virgo is also very much a moneymaker energy. It is an earth sign, right? So it's going to be very wise or have wisdom about how to go about doing this. You've got that Page of Wands. Again, we've got that Wands energy. There's a youthfulness and an exuberance. There's also an opportunity to take quick advanced action. So this Two of Wands is like the formulation of the plan. The wisdom and the grounding of the Hermit moves you forward, but the Page kind of makes that Hermit a little bit more buoyant, a little bit more playful, where you can actually maybe have some fun and learn along the way. And then we have the King of Pentacles. So this is your route to the money. The King of Pentacles would be the master manifester, right? Or the master money man, right? He is the King of Pentacles. Look, I'm telling you, I have this weird feeling there is going to be a woman that is going to come into your life. This feels like a court card to me. And she's going to be like a on your same level woman, somebody you relate to, that you understand, that you can feel as though you can trust. She's the Two of Wands, and in your spirit is the Four of Wands. There's going to be like some sort of a connection between you two. She's going to teach you something through the Hermit and the Page. She'll teach you or show you the way to where you're going to make this money and you'll be fine. All right. That's my feeling. Let's go to the Death card. And I literally think this is the COVID unemployment line. I swear to God. We've got the Ten of Pentacles. So there is light at the other side of the other side of the tunnel. Okay. What am I talking about? The other side of the tunnel, the COVID tunnel is the tunnel. On the other side of the tunnel, there is light. The Ten of Pentacles would indicate well-being, finances for everyone involved, all of those that you love. right? We have the Five of Pentacles. This is about hardship, being put out in the cold. This could be about fears about that. This could also be about sort of rectifying, like, where do I fit in all of this mess that's going on in the country right now? Like, sometimes I feel like for us to be financially stable and happy, we have to kind of measure, like, do I deserve it over the person that's, you know, starving next to me? And I kind of feel like that's what these two cards are playing out here, is in the midst of the struggle that you're in your own self personally, that's very transformative and feels like intense. A lot of other people are in the same struggle, and we watch that and we hear that and we feel that, and when we're in it, we understand what it is for us, so we can understand what it's like for others. And then we have to kind of balance, like, where do I take mine and feel no guilt? And I feel like this is the guilt of sort of maybe having found your answer somewhere, right? So that might be a little bit of a challenge. But we have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups would indicate sometimes indecision, sometimes boredom, sometimes being not willing to, like, sort of give in, or you know, like, he's sitting there not willing to take that cup, right? But I feel like this side of the coin is, or this side of the reading is more strong and more where you're heading, where she wants to go. This might be you not buying into the emotionality of all of the drama that you've already been through in the past, and the dramas of others that you may care about, right? This Four of Cups might be like, okay, yeah, we've all been out in the cold. Yes, it's been rough on all of us, but we all want this, like, Ten of Pentacles, right? We all want this joy. We want to feel safe and stable again. And I have every right to have that as much as the next person. So I'm going to stabilize my emotions around my havingness, so to speak, and allow myself to go down this road to havingness, to very much havingness, right? Now, the outcome card lays over all of this. This is where I don't want anybody ever living for my outcomes. So I give you this outcome card. It shows you sort of where things are naturally heading, barring that nothing major changes, right? But we do have free will. We can make choices and changes. If it's a negative card, we can make choices and changes now to affect this outcome, and it never comes to pass. But if it's a positive card, we can take heart in the fact that it's naturally coming towards us, and we can just allow things to move in that direction. So let's see what this is. So the outcome is the Moon. Now, what I'm going to say about this, and this is a really beautiful Moon card. I love this deck too. God, I don't work with this deck enough either. I bought this deck and I just absolutely love it. There's an angel there, and she's got that beautiful moon behind her. The moon is the sign of Cancer. It's mothering, nurturing, all of that. And it's also the only other major arcana card. Well, you have the Lovers here. So you have three majors in this reading. You have the Lovers and you have the Death card. But the Death card is kind of outside influences, things that you're dealing with. Internally, you're leading yourself to the Lovers. This is the outcome, which is the Moon. Now, the Moon to me can be highly intuitive. It's Cancerian energy. It's nurturing, mothering, all of that, giving yourself what it is that you need. There is a bit of confusion to the Moon, though. I will say that. People kind of are fearful of the Moon because it's not as strong or as bright or as clearly placed as, say, like the Sun card, right? The Moon can sometimes indicate nightmares, worries, and dreams, or subconscious inklings that we can't quite figure out. But to me, I feel like granted, if you look at this, she's on this rock and she's surrounded by all of these dragons, right? Like all of this sort of treachery, but she's at peace and she's connected to her higher self. She's connected to her higher intuitive knowledge, right? But she has to listen to that voice within. That voice within is this Nine of Pentacles. It is that independence, trusting ourselves over anything else first and foremost. So I just want to clarify this Moon really quick. I don't think the Moon is a bad card to end up at because it is major arcana. I do feel like it can indicate peace. It may not be well received by others, you know, like there might be others who have something to say about it, or, you know, they're like, well, why did you do it that way? Well, who the fuck cares? Like, get out of my way. Like, it's that kind of a vibe that I'm getting with this card. So we have the Eight of Swords. This is about feeling trapped or stuck. The Queen of Cups, highly emotional. That would also be Moon energy. And then we have the Six of Cups, which is family, nostalgia, and sort of well-being. Actually, that was today's card of the day in the daily reading today. It was a very beautiful card. It was sort of interestingly depicted. Let me look at this as an outcome. I'm going to say this. I feel like this side may be more challenging. This side to me looks like a clear run, right? Like a clear trust run, go after it. But we do have a little bit of like muckery, fuckery happening here with the Five of Wands. And we also have a little bit of indecision or indignance happening over here. And certainly the death of the drama card, or the drama of the death card, which I think is just sort of the financial state of the world right now. Everything is up in arms. It's sort of crazy. But there's good and bad to all of this. And I think that that's sort of the confusion that I feel like is in this, the potential for the moon. The Eight of Swords is also, she feels trapped a little bit. We see the angel there trapped with the dragons in the water around her. Although she's at peace and she's okay and you'll be fine, you're going to have to trust your intuition. That's the Queen of Cups. You might feel a bit emotional, very psychic, tying into all of that. In the end, though, this nostalgia thing is just really about doing the right thing and being right with your family, right? And making sure that you're okay and well taken care of. And I think that you will do that with the Six of Cups. It's just, to me, and also there is this opportunity over here. Don't negate this. There's somebody, I feel like this is a court card, even though it's not. It's the Two of Wands. It's pissing me off. But she's giving me court card vibes, and she can teach you and lead you to greater financial outcomes than you've been experiencing. I can promise you that. But you have to trust her. And you have to sort of get away from maybe what you've been experiencing or have gotten used to over the last year. Because if you stay stuck in this, that could also, oh, sorry, that's my alarm. That could also lead you to here. All right, so it looks like I have 3 new payments. So I got to get going, guys, on readings. So I'm going to clear this. I hope that makes sense, Mary. I'm going to give Lisa her love reading. I have no more, please nobody send any more money, because I've got enough readings for the evening. I'm only taking 4 a night. And I actually have 5, I think. Thank you so much, Shannon. I see that you sent extra. I really appreciate that. So I have Alex, I have Shannon, and then I have Matthew. So I'm going to do Lisa's for Tammy. And then we're going to get into the next sets of readings, guys. Okay. Sorry if I took long on that. I didn't notice that the orders were coming in. And sometimes when I get reading, I like to see the stories that come out of these decks. And I love reading with this deck in particular. It's like interesting to see how they depict the art. All right, so we're going to make this now deck number 1. We're going to make this now deck number 2. And we're going to make this still deck number 3. So, Lisa, my dear, where do you want me to go? I did get your payment, Dorothy. Are you David Baxter? I did get yours. Yes, ma'am. Let me see. I did. Matthew Baxter. Yes, I did get it. So let me just look at, hold on. Let me open up PayPal and see in what order they came in so I can do them in the order that they came in. Hold on one second. I just didn't realize, I was so busy reading Mary that I didn't realize that they were coming in. And I appreciate each and every reading, you guys. Like, it's huge. Thank you so very, very much. So it looks like it's going to go like this, guys. Oh, Vicky too. Okay, Vicky, you can cash in anytime you want, whenever I'm around, dear. Whenever I'm around, you know you can cash in with me. Matthew Baxter was first, then Shannon, then Alex. So we're going to do Lisa, then Dorothy, then Shannon, then Alex. That will be the order that it goes. That's okay. It's fine. The Baxter name works, so that's fine. So you'll be next after Lisa's. All right. And Vicky, if I'm on tomorrow night, you can always jump in, Vicky. You always do, wonderful things for me. So just jump in and say you want to cash in for your monthly Patreon whenever you want, and you're open. You're good as gold with me. You've taken very good care of me, so I'm happy to give you a reading whenever you ask. So group number 1, Lisa, group number 2, or group number 3? I just need to know. And thank you for the decks too, by the way, Vicky. I'm like freaking out about some of these decks. The Star Tarot, I haven't even opened it yet, and I cannot wait to get that box open. I'm like dying. But I feel like I want to save it for more winter readings. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the snowy mountains on it, but I feel like it needs to be the daily forecast reading for like when we get closer into fall, winter. The Akashic Tarot looks really exciting. I'm really excited about that one. I did put up the Archangel Power one on the Patreon for this month, because it had archangels and animals, which I thought was kind of cool for springtime. 3, so this group, okay. All right, and we're doing love for you, Lisa, correct? And is it a specific person or just general love? That's what I need to know too. Thank you for your kindness too, Vicky. Like, thank you. It means the world to me too. General, okay, perfect. I'm gonna shuffle really quick. Give me one moment. I have really good vibes about that Star Tarot. I have a feeling I love that deck. I can't wait. And the Lightworker Oracle looks really good too. Which I think that is if the Light Seers gets picked, which Mary sent, then I'm going to use the Lightworker Oracle with it. So I'll have to do unboxings for both of them before April 1st. I have prepared decks for each of the decks that I put up already in my mind as to who I'm using for what. So we'll see which one wins, and then that will determine which Oracle decks get used. All right, Lisa, let's see what messages you need to know. So in love, your center is the 8 of Cups. So we saw this 8 of Cups in that other deck, right? This depiction is a little bit softer. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit more peaceful to me. It's also very sort of, she's dressed as a ladybug. And when you look at it, there's 2 swans here. There's 2 dragonflies. There's also 2 butterflies. So to me, this being a love reading and all of these 2s happening, these couplings happening, it says to me that where you're at right now in your relationship, I would go so far to say that you're still in a relationship with all of these couplings going on. But there might be some emotions involved that don't feel so great, that maybe hang a little bit heavy, right? Now, this relationship could be, I'm not sure who this relationship is with, but there is a sort of a heavy, not a heaviness, but a sadness that is causing you to maybe think about letting it go. Right? That's this rocky path that she's walking along, that she's going to walk off into the forest alone by herself. The dragonflies would always indicate spirit. To me, the butterflies would indicate transformation, and the swans would indicate grace. We've tried to do, we're not alone in this process with this person, but it's been hard. It's been a long road, and it's been an emotional road. So that is your center, where you're at with love right now. You might not feel quite so trusting of love just because of the hard emotions. And I know you, Lisa, you're like a triple water sign too, which is crazy. You're like a Scorpio with a Cancer and a Pisces something, right? So this would make sense for your center card for sure. So let's see what your foundation is. Your foundation is the Queen of Swords. This is the first time we're seeing her. I actually love this card. She's high atop this like sort of balloon with all of these windows and birds, right? And she's looking through that spyglass far away, right? This is in our past. This is somebody that maybe had dreams, and this would be you, a representational of you, right? Where I feel like this would be somebody that maybe had sort of dreams or ideals of what you needed to be, or how you need it to be. I almost want to ask how your relationship is with your mom. I wonder if your mom wasn't a very emotional person, if she was more analytical, maybe a little bit distant, a little bit cold, a little bit blunt, a little bit this would indicate an air sign too. It could be a Libra, an Aquarius, or a Gemini. But this would be somebody that sort of, although they're slightly emotional and nurturing, that's not their first go-to. I don't think this is you. I kind of get a feeling that this could be sort of your relationship maybe to your own mom in some weird way. I don't know much about that with you, but you'd have to tell me. I kind of feel like this woman sitting on the balloon, she's sort of distant from everyone. She keeps herself sort of, it's almost like her intelligence, her way of thinking, her way of being doesn't allow her to afford closeness to anyone. Now, if this is you in the past, there may have been a period in your life where you had to sort of pull back or feel separated from everybody for having to do the right thing, right? That's how I would describe this if this were you. But more of this, I'm getting this vibe of like, this feels like your mother, because I feel like this spyglass is her having visions of how and who you should be in your future that have affected you in some way, shape, or form, right? Like she's looking through that spyglass going like, no, Lisa, this is what you need to be. This is how you need to be. This is what you need to do, and blah, blah, blah. And so that's where I feel like this was like maybe the first relationship where when we loved them and they meant the best that they could, but they hurt us, right? And we had to maybe make a decision to shift our relationship with them in some way, shape, or form, because maybe they didn't quite see us clearly. Because even as intelligent as the Queen of Swords is, she's looking through that spyglass. She's looking through a very small sort of like pinpoint vision of who she thinks you should be or are. And it maybe isn't who you are. And so I feel like she sits down here because I almost feel like she's very significant in how and where and what you love, if that makes sense. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I'm going to say that's what that is. The next card is your spirit or soul card. So this is the Wheel of Fortune. I love this. I love this first off as a depiction of the Wheel of Fortune because all of the cogs have to turn together to make everything work. But I love that the last cog is the heart. Right? And she's revealing her vulnerability underneath her skirt, right? She's hiding all of the secrets of the universe underneath her skirt. And when she opens up her skirt and these cogs start to spin, that her heart connects and things start to happen. And so what this says to me is this is major arcana, Lisa. This is in your soul space, right? So this says to me that you need to trust the process that you're in. You need to trust the feelings that you're feeling right now in this Eight of Cups, the energy that you're feeling right now. Not all hope is lost. I don't want you to think that at all. I think that the analytical nature of this Queen of Swords does have an effect on you to a degree, but I feel like you've gotten beyond that. You're able to own who you are emotionally. And as you begin to trust that in the grand, bigger scheme of things, more will be revealed. More love can sort of transpire or what's the word? Like can begin to work in your life, right? You can trust people or relationships again, but you have to be patient and allow it to sort of come about. The Wheel of Fortune always kind of moves sort of slowly and takes time. So the next two are the outside influences. So let's see what they are. Oh, this came out. Oh, wait, I thought it was upside down. This is the Hanged Man. I thought the card was upside down. So this is major arcana. This is definite indecision. This is associated with the sign of Pisces. Also a water sign, emotional. There might be a relationship or somewhere that you fall, someone that you love, that you are having a hard time making a decision around. They're sort of hanging there in the balance, and you're sort of standing over here with the water in between where the swans swim, and you can't really help them, and they need to help themselves. They need to figure it out themselves. I kind of feel like this could be your son, Lisa, just because I know a little bit about his situation, and I feel like this is him sort of stuck in his own situation, and only he can do it to get himself out of it. And it is significant and important and big to you, and it does cause you some of that, having to step back, even though emotionally you feel tied to it. But you have to let him have his process, because with the Hanged Man, what happens is he hangs there until he sort of attains that spiritual enlightenment, until he figures out the answer, or the person that's there. That would be the opportunity, or that. So this could be your son, or at least the situation around your son, or somebody else that I don't know about. Now, speaking of the sun, we have the card, the sun. Look at how beautiful that is. I love it. The sun is always a positive card, right? This is the sign of Leo, right? And so, excuse me, to me, this is always a positive, affirmative yes. And when we have two major arcana happening around us, this means that this is a very pivotal space for us right now, because with the work that you're doing and the things that are happening around you are rather large and big, right? You also have a major arcana up here. So this is a no joke reading for you, I would say. This is about trusting yourself, your own inner machinations, and how things work within you, listening to your own truth and your own heart first and foremost, above all else, above those that might be suffering, and then like sort of walking into that light or into the energy of the sun and allowing that to grow. There's benefit here. There's truth here. There's opportunity here, right? That when you begin to trust it, or when you begin to sort of let go of the, maybe the more critical voices in our mind, wherever they come from, whether they come from our own mind, from the past, or from like people, loved ones that cared about us, but they maybe gave us critical information or whatever, stuff that felt critical. When we're able to let that go and feel free and walk in the sun, I think that there's an opportunity for growth and rejuvenation, all of that here, right? But we also have this hangman or stuck person over here. So it's kind of hard. Where do we put our attention? I feel like when we have and it looks like she's positioned more towards this hanged man, like in the way she's looking. But if we turned right behind us, we'd see that there's a lot of really wonderful, good things happening around us. Does that make sense? So let's go for clarifiers really quick before we get the final outcome. And again, I will caveat this. These clarifiers are with an oracle deck, which is kind of different for me. So I don't normally clarify with oracle cards, but these cards were both made by the same artist. So I thought, why not? Let's do it. Hey, Jen Nichols. Lisa, it sounds like my mom tiptoed into your reading. Hey, Amanda Joe, how are you? I know I'm going to try and be live more often. I need to be doing my thing. So, and by the way, thank you for the Herb Crafters Tarot. It's up for off of the Patreon list. I mean, it's off of the Amazon wish list. It's up for this month's daily forecast deck. So we'll see which one gets picked. But thank you very much for sending that. All right, so let's get into this. So for the 8 of Cups, we have the keys on trees. We saw this last night with Mary's. This is this, there's something about this card that gets me all emotional. There's this elephant trapped in a cage, and he's trying to find the right key hanging from the tree so that he can release himself and let himself free out of the tower. And I love this because this to me speaks to the idea that it's sort of like the 8 of Cups is also that same release, that same sort of ability to walk away, right? That same sort of ability to kind of free ourselves emotionally, understand it is what it is, and then sort of allow it to have the space to grow into what it needs to be, and we can ultimately free ourselves. You won't necessarily give up. That's the sort of tenacity of this elephant. Like this elephant will continue to work until he sets himself free, but at some point he will be free is the feeling that I get from this card. So the next card would be the Queen of Swords, and we have Miss Sunshine, right? Now, we saw this one too yesterday, I think, with Mary's. But with this one, the way that I'm seeing this, she has this sun around here, right? And we have this sun card here. They're actually very similar, right? And it's interesting that we have this influence down here of this, what I feel would be like an analytical or critical, maybe mom figure, somebody that from the past that maybe has judged us. Maybe it's been ourselves. Maybe it's you, Lisa. I'm not sure. But to me, it feels kind of like a mom. And when we have this sun here as the outside influence that's wanting us to shine, this laying over her says to me that there was moments when this woman would shine or would know her shit, right? She would be great, but she still sort of like was burdened. This castle that hangs underneath her to me feels a bit like, she might have had her highs and lows, this woman, right? And this, whether this is you or your mom or somebody that was insignificant to you, this woman was like, she was a bright light in your life at times. There was times where you could relate to her. There was times that you could love her. There was times where, but there was also like sort of these down times with her, right? I almost want to say, like, I feel like there was a price that had to be paid to be around her, is the best way that I can describe it. And so it wasn't all bad, but it was, there's also some things that left an impact or a, how do I want to say this? Like this inability to see oneself clearly because of how she maybe viewed you or how you viewed yourself through her eyes. So the next card is the Wheel of Fortune. And we have, the Art of Seduction. And she's lifting up her red dress. Get it? I love this because this is about being open to love. This feels like this is the woman embracing the idea of love. You being feminine too, Lisa, is great, right? I love that this is about her revealing herself with the machinations underneath her dress and her heart being the final cog in the wheel. So to me, this says that your higher self wants you to sort of explore this and be free to love again. The Art of Seduction, it's not so much about seduction. I think that there's a bit of a seduction happening here and just learning about who we are and how we tick. And like that to me can be almost a seduction in a way where we understand ourselves at a very deep spiritual level and how we love and the beauty of that love and how special and opportune and fortunate that love can be. That's why this is the Wheel of Fortune. And so we should enjoy every moment of that as if we're falling in love with ourselves first and foremost, and then sharing that love with others. That would be my feeling there. Now, with the Hanged Man, we have My Dear Friend. Okay, we saw this chick this month. Oh, my dear friend, I love you, my dear friend. This card is always very interesting to me because it's called My Dear Friend, but I never feel like I can trust the woman on this card. And so that's why I'm thinking maybe this is your son. Yes, they were a dear friend, but yes, this woman is out in the cold. She's not very happy. She's on her own route. She's looking at you with like, she's giving you evos. She's giving you evos. I don't know if you can see her eyes very well. And those prongs on the caribou look almost sharp, like she could hurt you at any point in time. So although she's a dear friend and we do care about her and we want her in from out of the snow, she may not be willing to come in from out of the snow. And she could be a dangerous person for us to be around. That's how I interpret this card. It's not the definition in the book, but that's what I look at this card and I feel when I see it, right? So it doesn't mean that times aren't necessarily good with this person. And this card also numerologically comes to an 11, right? To me, 11 is a master number. So this says to me that this is like something that needs to be mastered. This is something that needs to be worked upon, figured out, possibly some sort of a soulmate connection, right? Where we've maybe loved them deeply and harmed them deeply, or vice versa. And so she sits above this Hanged Man. It makes me kind of think that this is more possibly your son. So the sun is touch the sky. Like reach out for anything and everything that you possibly think you can have. I love this card. Wow. See, we haven't even gotten to see this whole deck. I don't even think a month is enough with these decks. I'm not really sure what, to me, with this card, it's sort of interesting. I feel like she wants you to climb up her braid. This is going to sound really strange, Lisa, but with Miss Sunshine here and Sun here, and then we have Touch the Sky, I almost feel like this is like, I don't know your relationship to your mom, Lisa, but I feel like it almost feels like if it was not good at times when you were younger, if you felt she was overly critical, although you loved her and there was good times with her, I feel like this is her in spirit saying, come climb up and talk to me. Climb up I don't know why, but I'm getting this weird image in my mind of like, this is her as a young girl saying, like, come join me in the sun. Come, let's be okay. Oh my God, I'm going to get really emotional here. Come climb up my braid and let me whisper in your ear. That's what I feel like when I look at this card. It's like she's high above the clouds, even though she's leaning on a painting. To me, it's like she's in spirit up there watching over you. And she's trying to bring you the blessing of the sun, right? And in her body or in her life. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm on this whole other tangent. But in her body, in her life, there was moments when she was good, but there was also moments where she was heavy. There was moments where it didn't work for her. And that wasn't her fault. It was just who she was, right? And it's interesting because she's holding, you look at these strings, it's like she's holding balloons, right? And then when we look at this balloon is on the same strings, right? So you kind of got these different versions of her when she was around in the past. And now that she's not around, I feel like she's maybe still trying to come to you and say, you know, climb up my braiding, come and let me whisper in your ear. Like, I love you. You know, that sort of is the feeling that I'm getting there. All right, the potential outcomes. This is the card where, you know, barring that nothing major changes, this is where you're heading in your love sphere. It is not set in stone. It is only potential, right? So if it's negative, we can use free will to make choices and changes to affect the outcome. And we can, if it's positive, we can take heart in the fact that it's naturally heading towards us and we don't have to do much to change it. So this is the Emperor. Emperor is Aries energy. He's about doing the right things for the right reasons. His card number 4 in the major arcana. So he would be a very strong card to come in. He would be somebody that would be taking control of the situation. He would not necessarily be warm and fuzzy, but he would be benevolent and loving. He's kind of like a loving father figure. This could be you having to take on this role of being a stronger version of yourself and turning your back to your son and what's going on here and standing strong in your own truth and your own expectation. The Emperor always has very high expectations and we have to live up to them. We will be rewarded if we do, very handsomely. He is, you know, that sort of fiery kind of, he's all of the kings wrapped up into one, in my opinion, right? But he represents as the Aries energy, which is that sort of like fiery, can do, I am, you know, like he just takes it kind of energy, you know? And so you might have to like kind of step into this seat or into this power, or there may be a male around you that sort of is the outcome of all of this, where he sort of takes over. This could be your son turning into this man and stabilizing and things being okay. There's a lot of different interpretations of how this card could go. I'm going to pull a signifier for it, and it's a long way home. And this card came out also for Mary's last night. I think that this might be your son being okay at some point. This to me feels like everything comes together in the end. We just have to trust that it will come together. We have to trust everybody on their path. And we have to trust that everything that we went through, whether it was understandable, whether it caused us pain, whether it, however it sort of landed with us or impacted us, that ultimately in the end, it's, I believe, hopefully, it's all going to make sense at some point. It's all going to come together. And whether it's on the spirit side, right, when we get over to the other side and we let go of all of the ego stuff, and then we realize that it was all us doing the best that we could in these physical bodies, we get to that point and we feel complete and whole again. And we're able to sort of love again. And the long wait or the love that you're seeking, it's there for you. It's all around you. I mean, here it's a little bit hard. This person is struggling, but it is all around you. And it is definitely there for you. And there is a stability there for you. All right, so I hope that made sense. I mean, it is a little different reading with oracle cards as clarifiers, but this is so interesting about this card and how it made me feel. It was weird. Thank you. All right, so the next person, gotta keep them moving. We're busy tonight. All right. You're welcome, Lisa. You're very, very welcome. Thank you for, thank Tammy. Okay. So now let me look at my PayPal. So we have Miss Baxter. Miss Baxter, if you're nasty, are you here, dear? Wait, Integrity Cleaners. Who is Integrity Cleaners? Is that you, Vicky? Did you just send over money? I actually was not going to take anybody else. Oh, that's you, Amanda. Okay. I was going to not take anybody else. Okay, so I've got Amanda will be the last one because I've got 3 more that I have to do. So I don't want to like burn out. But I'm going to come on again tomorrow night, Jennifer. So Jen, I'll be on tomorrow night. I'm going to try and do this more often. So because I need to make money and I need to build my business because I think that's part of the reason why I wrecked my car. Is it's Spirit's way of saying, no, bitch, you're not supposed to be driving Uber Eats. You're supposed to be doing the thing that you love. Get into it. Just quit being a scared baby. So I have, let me just read this down to you guys really quick. I have Dorothy, then Shannon, then Alex, then Amanda Joe. Unless Amanda Joe, will you be around tomorrow night? We can move you to tomorrow night too. Either way, you let me know because I've been kind of long-winded with these readings with the clarifiers. So it kind of gets a little bit, Jen, you quit Facebook? Wow, that's brave. I've thought about it. So Dorothy, which deck do you want? Deck number 1, deck number 2, or deck number 3? All right, Amanda, we'll do tomorrow at the same time. And Jen, if you want to buy one for tomorrow, you can for tomorrow. That would be great. And then that gives me all the more reason to get online because I'm going to try and do this like every night. Thank you, Amanda. So I've got Dorothy next. Then I've got Shannon, and then I've got Alex. So Dorothy, you need to pick a deck, either 1, 2, or 3, and then give me a topic that you want me to read on, dear. Well, that's the whole thing, Jen. I'm trying to, if I don't put myself out there, I'm not going to grow. And so I've got to grow. Number 2. Okay. So, and then did you want it on love or are you calling me love? You could be British and being like, 2 love. I like number 2 love. Or did you want a love reading, dear? Just a little bit of clarity on that. Or you can get a general reading. It's up to you. On love. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I wasn't sure if maybe you were British and you were like, 2 love, deck number 2. So can I ask, is this with a specific person or is it just love in general? Because it's a different way of laying out the cards if it's a specific person. The way that I read. With your husband? Okay. Can I hear your husband's name? Can you just say his name for me? It just helps for when I'm shuffling the cards. Just type his name for me. Oh, Matthew. Duh. Okay, never mind. I remember the PayPal. Thank you. All right, so I'm doing 3 cards for you, Dorothy. It's okay, don't start barking, guys. That's just the neighbor dog. 3 cards for Matthew. And then I'll go through your 3 cards first, then I'll go through Matthew's, and I'll kind of bounce back and forth, and then we'll do clarifiers, we'll do how you communicate and things like that. All right, so I have first the Chariot, Cancerian energy, mothering, nurturing, fast moving. I feel like there's a demand happening here. There's something that you might want or that you constantly feel like you need to ask, take charge, be the one in charge in the relationship. You might be the one that needs to get things done. That's sort of the feeling that I'm getting from this. There is this redness to this, which is not a natural color with the Chariot. I like it in this card, but it almost feels a little bit angry to me. So I don't know if you've got any like sort of resentment or myth with Matthew, but we'll figure that out as we go into the cards. Anger is not necessarily associated with the Chariot either, but it's just something that I'm sort of feeling a little bit. It doesn't feel insurmountable. It just sort of feels like, do I have to be the one that has to take care of everything? That's kind of the vibe that I get with that card. We have the Hermit. So she pulls away sometimes. The Hermit is Virgo energy. The Hermit is, it's interesting too. You have 2 major arcanas right out. I want to look at your third really quick. King of Cups. Okay. You have 2 major arcanas right out of the gate. So this is pretty important to you, right? That's what that tells me right now. You're bringing some heady energies to the relationship. One of which is this fast moving, like, let's get this done. Let's keep on plan kind of vibe that I'm getting with this. And it's not necessarily, how do I want to say this? Chariot is not necessarily the way that I'm describing this card, but this particular Chariot card is making me feel this way. Right? It feels like you might have to take control or be the leader or feel like you have to be the leader. Or maybe it's like you're doing things in the background. That could be some of this Hermit thing too. But you're smarter than you let on. Or you have an intelligence about you and an awareness about you that either you hide it or you pull back at times when things don't go your way. I won't know exactly until I see his cards what's going on, why these are interacting this way. And then we have the King of Cups. And to me, the King of Cups is this really benevolent, loving card, right? He's about the masculine power of emotions and love and all of this sort of stuff. So you bring this idea of love, emotions. He would be associated with water signs like the energy of Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So if any of those are your signs, we also have Cancer over here. So we have double water happening. There's a lot of emotions going on in here for you, but not all bad. Right? I wouldn't say bad emotions. He definitely represents sort of the warm, loving tones. The only thing I don't like is this Hermit feels like you pull away or hide or retract, and I don't know why. So we're going to look at his cards and see what's going on. So we've got the 2 of Swords. So there's a little bit of a block there, like right out of the gate. 2 of Swords can indicate indecision, not being able to make a choice. It can also indicate boundaries being drawn. In this place here, and in this particular card, I'm feeling like there's a little bit of a block, like he's holding something up. I also find it interesting that this 2 of Swords, which is a definite like sort of no vibe, is sitting underneath this Chariot that wants to move forward, that wants to get things going, that wants to kind of make things happen. I also want to say this. I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like the white in this card, like it looks all pure and virginal. Like, does he not take any responsibility for the things he does? Like there's this feeling where I feel like some of this red up here in this angel is she's kind of mad because it's like, will you just fucking like own some of your shit? And he's like, no, I'm pure and perfect. I don't do anything wrong. And just sort of shuts down. And then maybe you retreat, right? And you're smart, like you know better, right? You know that like some of this is like not quite the way it's supposed to be, because there's this pure love in the King of Cups, right? Does that make sense? And so to me, let's see what the rest of his cards are before I go too far down the storyline, because I don't want to give you... Okay, so we've got the Moon, more fucking confusion. Underneath the Hermit. He's withdrawn. He's not all there, and you're withdrawing too. And something is going on where he's confused, he's indecisive, he's not giving you the full answer, he's not being upfront, he's not telling you everything that's going on with him. There could be some depression even, or some issues around emotions that he doesn't know how to deal with. Moon is also Cancerian energy too. So we see Cancer in 3 different places here. Let's see what his third card is. His third card is the 3 of Wands. Three of Wands, this card is interesting because this could be planning for the future, but 3 cards to me, and I mean any of the 3 cards, like the 3 of Cups, the 3 of Wands, the 3 of Pentacles, they're always about sort of, they can be about collaboration. They can also be about triangles, right? They can be about the possibility of a third party involved. Now, that third party could be anything. It could be another person. It could be a job. It could be a responsibility. It could be a child. But sometimes 3s represent being pulled in different directions too, right, in a relationship. The 3 of Wands would indicate sort of creating what we desire, or that idea of passion and where it is that we desire. We always have this man sort of looking out over the sea as to where he wants to be, but he doesn't feel like he's present in the relationship, if that makes any sense, because we have this blindfolded woman who's blocked here, and we have this Moon card who's sort of confused and forlorn here, and then we've got him like out looking outward towards something else. And so I feel like it leaves you in this state of sort of confusion, because you've got this, this Hermit to me is almost like maybe this is your, what's the word? Like your feminine intuition, even though it's not the most feminine card, but this is your spiritual intelligence telling you something might be off. Something's not right. What I can't tell with his cards is what exactly that not right is. It could be, like I said, confusion. It could be not taking responsibility for his part in things, or not stepping in when he needs to and taking part of the mantle. And it could be him wishing to be somewhere else, if that makes sense. I don't know if this is resonating at all. If you could just give me a yes or a no, Dorothy, just so that I know if I'm on the right path with this, because I don't want to go too far into this if it doesn't make any sense to you. Yes, okay, thank you. All right, so let me get into these signifiers really quick, and clarifiers, and see what the hell is going on. I especially want to clarify him. I feel like I have a really good idea where you're at. I feel like I know where you're at. You're like, let's get this ball rolling. Like, what the fuck are we doing? I love you. Like, come on. And he's like stuck in the mud. And I can't figure out why. Like, it's... So I'm going to clarify him really quick, just to see where he's at. So on his 2 of Swords, we have the Hierophant, the Fool, and the 2 of Pentacles. So Hierophant is Taurus energy. The Fool is Aquarian energy. Both major arcana. Hierophant can be about doing the right things for the right reasons, right? Social standing, higher learning, trying to remain like he's not the bad guy here. That also might be why he's got these swords in front of him and the blindfold on, and he's wearing all white, trying to appear pure, like I haven't done the wrong thing. But then he's also doing things that are foolish, or he's being childish, being reckless at times, even though he's trying to appear as though he has his shit together. And then he tries to balance the two. Right. And I don't know how good of a job he does balancing it, but that's sort of what I feel like is going on there. For the moon, we've got the Emperor, we've got the High Priestess, which is secrets, and we've got the King of Wands. Hold on, I'm just going to look at the Three of Wands too. We've got the Ten of Swords, we've got the Nine of Pentacles, we've got the Page of Cups. So on this moon, which feels sort of confused to me, right? Or would indicate confusion, sort of not giving out clear messages. Underneath this, we have the Emperor, which would be about clear messages. He would know exactly what he needs, what he wants, and what he expects, but he's not conveying that through this moon card at all. And I don't like that. The High Priestess she's also very spiritual and aware, but she's about secrets. She's usually like kind of like secret societies, that sort of a thing. So to me, when I'm looking at this, it feels like he knows what he wants. He's portraying this sort of confusion or giving out confusing signals or being emotional, being weird. And also the King of Wands would know what he wants too. And that's very much the Emperor. So the Emperor and the King of Wands are very much in line, both fire, Aries. This would be Aries, Leo, Sag, but they're both rulers. They both go after what they want. They know what they want. They can be impulsive. Well, not impulsive, but the King of Wands could be impulsive, but they're passionate. They don't take no for an answer. It's that sort of a thing. And these two cards underneath this moon say to me, the moon is a ruse. Like the moon is, he knows what he wants. He's not willing to share that secret yet. Right? That's the High Priestess. Now, I don't want to freak you out or anything like that, Dorothy, but the High Priestess could also indicate sort of like maybe a woman. And the reason why I say that is we also have the Nine of Pentacles over here, which is a woman standing in a field by herself. And it's on top of this Three of Wands, and the Page of Cups is over it. And to me, the Page of Cups is like a love offering. It's like this sort of almost like childlike, kind of not really thinking very smartly about stuff. And he could be entertaining the idea of flirting with other women. The Page of Cups would indicate like a flirt versus like, say, a full out romance. But he could be playing with a little bit of fire there. And I think that these heavy duty, it's weird because I don't know if you have inklings of any of these feelings that I'm talking about. Like if you've had, I think you might with this Hermit card up here. I want to look, let me just shuffle. I feel like with all of his major arcana, he knows what he's doing and he's withholding information. He's withholding information here in the Two of Swords and he's withholding information here in the Moon. And I think he's withholding the information to maybe either protect himself or you. I'm not sure exactly who he's trying to protect, quite possibly himself, with all of these sort of kings and hierophants and, you know, these big sort of players that are showing up. And I just wonder if this Nine of Pentacles is not some new thing that he's kind of concocted in some way. So the Chariot is the Ten of Cups, the Sun, and the Knight of Pentacles. So you want the dream, you believe in the dream, you know the dream exists, and you believe it can be with him. He's not giving it to you fast enough, is the Knight of Pentacles. The Hermit is the Six of Cups. There could be children involved. The Empress, you could even be pregnant at this time, and The 10 of Wands, like letting go of a burden. I have a feeling, this is just my feeling, I'm thinking maybe you guys have been together for a fairly long time, only because the 6 of Cups and the 10 of Wands and the Hermit, they all kind of give me this vibe of like, you know, am I really ready to leave? Do I really want to walk away? Is it really time? And at one point in time, I think that this was good. These cards over here, this 10 of Cups, the Sun, these cards speak to the fact that there was somewhere in all of this relationship where you were told and you knew that this had the possibility to be the thing, the one. And it turned into like the Knight of Pentacles, which is this like slow moving, barely giving you what you need energy, right? So you become like the Hermit. You go inward, and then you try and think of the good times and why you're here, and stay in the role of like the Empress of the creative female, the divine feminine energy, waiting for it to change. But I don't know that he's changing. So let's go to the King of Cups. We have the Ace of Cups. We have the 8 of Cups. And we have the King of Swords. So this would indicate that, yes, your love for him is very real, this Ace of Cups. The 8 of Cups would be about coming to terms with that love and the pain around that love, because it's not necessarily being returned at this time. The King of Swords would be about the truth and the honesty around that and making that decision and cutting yourself free from that. Like the King of Swords has to be the analytical one and step in and cut away the King of Cups. Because the feelings that you do have for him are genuine, they are real. You know that this is something, was something, can still, even there might be a hope that it can still be something with some of these cards that we see in here. Even the Ace of Cups indicates that. But I don't get that he's there in his cards. I feel like he's a powerful man. I feel like he's very strong-willed. I feel like he's intelligent. I feel like he is holding back. I don't know if he's holding, he could very potentially be holding a secret of some sort. He could be dealing with mental health issues and confusion. He could be worried about not wanting to hurt you. This 3 of Wands, 10 of Swords too. This 10 of Swords would indicate an ending. And then we have this page and this 9 of, the Page of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles here as almost like a new beginning, or something he's entertaining as a possibility through this 3 of Wands. Hey, Jen DeFiore. You have been together for 23 years. That's this Hermit card. Can I ask you, just give me a yes or no, Dorothy. Does your intuition indicate that you think that he might be entertaining some other party? Because I don't want to tell you that and freak you out. That's not why I'm here, and that's not the purpose of my reading. So if that's not something that you've intuitively picked up on, I don't want that to become your truth or a fear for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? But and what I do feel like is going on here is I don't feel like it's major. I just feel like it's brewing in a way. The Page of Cups would indicate, I found out he was 2 months ago. Fuck, yeah, okay. Yeah, the cards don't lie. Okay, thank you for confirming that. I just don't want to scare anybody, especially somebody that's new to me, right? So I will say this, with this with this card combination here, he is entertaining it. I don't know if he's full out had the affair yet. I think he may have. There's some things that indicate that he has, but I don't know that he's in love with her per se. But I also don't see that he's giving you the love that I see that you still hold for him up here. I think that he's maybe a little bit fucked off about his own behavior around what he's done. And he's having a hard time dealing with that. And that's where he's lost his sort of ability to be in this relationship right now. Because I think this Hierophant card indicates social status and how he feels about himself. The Fool could indicate also in a big way that he feels like he's really fucked up. And he's trying to balance it all, and he doesn't know how, and he thinks he's got a bit of an ego. That's my feeling too, just with the cards that show up in his spreads. He's a bit egoic, like with the King of Wands, the Emperor, the High Priestess. It's like, oh yeah, he thinks he's a big deal. and he's kind of mucked it up a bit or done the wrong thing, and he doesn't know how to save face on this one. So he tries to pretend like it's not going on or something. He did sleep with others, but he said it's over. That might be true, Dorothy, because I don't feel like this is a strong connection. I feel like this was a flirting thing. The Page of Cups is like a youthful kind of, not stupid, because he's not a stupid card, but it's like a romantic mistake, I could see it as, right? Let's look at the communication cards. This is how the energies flow between the two of you. We have the Emperor. Ooh, girl, I think this is you. I love this Angel Emperor. Look at that. I feel like this is you being like, if you don't get this shit right, bitch, you are in trouble. I feel like this is like standing here protecting you right now. And then we have the King of Wands. I feel like this is him. This is him kind of trying to demand, I won't do it again. Like, no, I swear, I promise, I'm sorry. Blah, blah, blah. Like almost arguing his point, but it's like, no, bud, you kind of fucked up. You need to be quiet right now. We have the King of Wands also down here too. So I feel like this is sort of your energy to him. Like you're like, I'll give you, I'll let you try. I'll let you think, you know, like I'll weigh this fairly. I will understand my expectations of you. And he's kind of trying to save a sinking ship, is what it feels like to me with this King of Wands. I just want to clarify these two cards really quick. Guys, for those of you that are waiting on your readings, thank you for holding on. I'm sorry that this is taking a while, but I get a little bit with these clarifiers and stuff. This is kind of why I charge so much for my regular readings in person, because they usually take a long time and I get really into them. If I was doing this for an hour-long session, I'd be way more into this and be able to understand more quickly what's going on. So we have that Hermit energy again, which we see here up in your center. We have the Death card, which is about transformation. It could be the ending of this relationship, or not the ending of it, but the consideration of ending it. Like you're kind of weighing that with the intelligence of the Emperor and the Hermit. Do I really want to continue on in this? Is this something that really works for me anymore? And then the Three of Pentacles. Can we come together? Can we make this work? Three of Pentacles could indicate that it is possible. It's always usually a beneficial card, but it's like everybody has to bring their best game to the table. Trusting him is the question, and that's what we need to know. So let's see what's going on with his King of Wands. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Some people call this the wedding ring card. This can be about new material beginnings, new hopes. He might have turned a new leaf and be working on doing something different. The Judgment card is about answering the call from on high. This is major arcana. So this could be him listening to his higher self. The King of Wands can also be a card about demanding and taking what it is he wants. If he wants to be with you, he's maybe trying to prove that to you now. Maybe I would say trust him a little bit. And then the last card is the Five of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Pentacles would indicate being left out in the cold. To me, I don't want to think that he's doing this for fear of being left out in the cold. I do think he loves you. I do think he cares about you. I think he's more horrified about his own behavior and where he's gone with this than anything else. That was that purity thing of the white that I saw in the Two of Swords, where I was like, why can't he take responsibility for his actions? It's like there's something in there that I almost feel like he's so mortified by what he's done that he can't even make sense of it, right? So let me look at the last final card. This is the final outcomes. Again, final outcomes are just sort of where things are naturally heading, barring that nothing major changes. This does not mean it's set in stone. If we don't like this card, we can make choices in our free will to make choices and changes to avoid this outcome. And if we like this card, we can take heart in the fact that we're naturally heading towards it. So we have the Two of Pentacles. Okay. One thing I will say about this, we have the Ace of Pentacles over here, which is a new beginning he's trying to turn over in his communication with you. The Two of Pentacles would indicate like a coupling, right? And Pentacles would be earth energy, which would be grounded, discerning, based in respect. There is a balancing aspect to the Two of Pentacles that both of you need to do right now. It's a balance of trust, of communication, of what he's willing to communicate to you and whether or not you feel that you're being communicated with fairly, honestly, and truthfully, right? But I think that this means that there's hope and that with work and discernment and putting your best foot forward, that this can come into balance. I am going to just clarify this really quick. Like, not all is lost. The thing is that you have to let go of the, like in this 10 of Pentacles or the 10 of Wands, it's like the burden of what he's done has caused you some pain. And it's like, can you let that go? So we have the Tower. Oh shit. We have Justice. The truth will prevail. The Tower can be the affair that's already happened, okay? The Justice is the truth that comes out afterwards. These are both major arcana cards sitting on top of this card, seeking balance. So this is not necessarily a bad thing. When we have the Two of Pentacles, which is this seeking of balance, we have two people in this party that are both coming at it from an earth energy perspective, trying to maintain balance, honesty, truth, discernment, fairness, all of that underneath, because of a Tower experiment or experience. Justice is the sign of Libra, which is the scales, and balance also. The truth comes out. Everybody is sort of equitably discovered in a way, whether honorably or dishonorably, but the truth does come out with the Justice card. And then we have the Two of Cups, which means this is definitely love. This is like second to the Lover's card, right? So there is hope here that with this Two of Pentacles, it can turn into a Two of Cups, but we have to get through the mayhem of everything that's been created, which would be this Tower. We need to get to the truth of the matter and the honesty of what's going on with both of you. He may not all be there just yet. He's still working through some of his stuff. And you may not be there yet either with that Hermit up there and some of the anger that I was sensing in the Chariot, which is not a traditional Chariot meaning. So, but can that love be restored or get back to some place that's equitable? Yes, is my feeling with this Two of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. I feel like they balance each other out. It's just, we have to find that balance and love and connection and reconnect emotionally in a different way now from the truth that we know to be true now. Thank you, Shannon Watson, and thank you, Jen DiFiore. And thank you for you guys being so patient. Alex, too, you guys. All right, so thank you for letting us, being so honest with us with that, Dorothy. Sometimes, this is why I do these readings in private, because yes, they're more expensive. Yes, they're more in detail, but also they can get very personal. And so this is like out on, I might actually delete this video just because it is sort of a private video, but a private subject matter. But I want to say to you, Dorothy, I appreciate you owning it and being honest about it and sharing it, because some people would say to me, hold on, I'm going to switch the camera really quick just so I feel like I'm talking to you guys and you're not looking at the desk. Some people would say to me, they'd be like, oh no, I don't know what you're talking about. And I would feel crazy because I'm looking at the cards and I'm going like, no, I see what I see. I feel what I feel, because I feel this shit in my body while I'm reading the cards. Like, I can feel the emotions and the weirdness and the discomfort and all that sort of stuff. And so I will have people that, because they're being watched publicly, so to speak, they're like, oh no, I don't know. That's not our relationship. And I'm like, are you sure? And so I want to thank you, Dorothy, for being honest and allowing yourself to be read in that way, because I never want to force anybody to look at anything they're not ready to. I never want to put anything in anybody's space that is not, that they're not ready to deal with, right, through the reading. That's why I always kind of ask, can you confirm this or not? Because if not, we're not going down that road, because I'm not gonna lie to you ever, right? But I'm also not gonna like give you something like as a psychic reader and say, oh girl, this is wrong, it's not good for you, if that's not what your own intuition is telling you. Always listen to your own intuition and intelligence first and foremost. Take what I have and share it, like, piece it with your stuff is the key to a good reading, is my feeling. All right, so let's get back to these guys. Thank you guys for being patient. And thanks everybody for purchasing readings. I'm gonna try and, be on more often, because I need to work. All right, so let me clean this up really quick. Thank you so much, Dorothy. If you don't mind, please like the video, follow my YouTube channel if you don't mind. I'm trying to get YouTube subscribers. If you have an account on my Patreon, not my Patreon, my Linktree link, here, I'll put it in here. If you hit there, that gives you links to all of my social medias where you can find me. But if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, that would greatly help me out. And there's free stuff over there every day. I do a daily forecast over there that's free for the collective. You're also your signs. I do readings for the signs over there for each month for your signs. So you can, if you know your sun, moon, and rising, you can see what kind of like an April you might have. And those are all free. They're up right now. And there's, like I said, a daily forecast. So check that out on my YouTube channel. And there's pick-a-cards and things like that that are fun over there. So, and I love, like, anybody that's new that wants to follow me or do that, it's a great source of support and it helps me to grow the channel, which is what I've been trying to do and I've been hiding out. All right, so let's get into my next person. I believe that's the ice cream stealer, Shannon. Am I not wrong? I'm on that one. Shannon, are you done stealing that toddler's ice cream? And then Alex, you're next, dear. And Alex, you have the patience of an angel, dear. Alex is probably like gone to the nursing home by this point is what I'm thinking because I've taken so long. I'm sorry. I love reading cards, guys, and I can get a bit long-winded, and especially with the clarifiers. So Miss Shannon, the ice cream stealer Watson. All right, dear. We've got Dex 1, Dex 2, or Dex 3. You got to pick it and give me a subject matter. And anybody that looks into that link tree, please do not send any payment for tonight. I will be back on tomorrow night. I am full for tonight. I'm only taking about 4 readings a night because it's just too much work. And the poor 4th person that has to wait is like, and Amanda Joe, if you're still here, I will, you're first up tomorrow night. Jamie, you would book through the Engelgeist YouTube. Hold on. Sorry. Thank you for asking, Jamie. Let me tell you. So tonight I am full. I'm not taking bookings tonight. I will be on again tomorrow night at around this time. You in the Linktree link that I just posted, there's a PayPal link in there, and you would PayPal $25 to get a reading. What was I going to say? Follow just my business page. That should be linked in the link tree. Follow my YouTube channel, wherever you are, social media on. It will alert you when I go live. Instagram does not alert you, so you don't have to follow Instagram. If you want to, you can, but I just post funny, goofy tarot stuff there, not really readings. Mainly, the best place to find me is the business page on Facebook or YouTube. And then I have a private group that you can join. There's nothing, it's just a bunch of people that follow me that congregate there, and I leave sort of different things in there, like if I'm going to be on or late or whatever. So I will be doing more tomorrow night, actually. I'll be doing more all this week, dear. Like, I'm going to try and be on like as much as possible. That's why I'm saying follow me, so that you get alerted when I go live, because I'm trying to build my business. I've been like only on Sunday nights and going like, why is my business not getting any bigger? It's because I've been hiding. That's why. It's a Hermit year for me. My tarot card is the Hermit this year. So I've been trying to step out into the light. All right. So let's get into Miss Shannon Watson. Jen says, Alex, I'll come and visit you in the nursing home. I know she's waiting for the nurses to come by with the meds at this point. She's been like patiently waiting for all evening. I'm sorry, Alex. I really appreciate your patience. All right. All right, so Beth Allen, I think that they do take it off. If not, if I receive it, I'll take it off the list. It might actually automatically come off, I believe. So, and then any decks that you send me, they get used in later videos, and there will be an unboxing video and stuff like that. And it's another great way to support the channel, Beth. All right, so where is am I missing? I gotta find, did I miss Shannon? Shannon, are you beating up that toddler again? Where are you? I didn't see which deck you chose. For those of you that didn't tune in earlier, Shannon said something about cleaning up ice cream or getting ice cream from a toddler. And I was like, girl, you beat up toddlers for ice cream? That's hot. I want to hang out with you. Set 1. So we're going with this one. Okay. All right. And then do you have a specific subject or did you just want a general reading? General love, please, and thank you. All right, general love. So since I just used this deck, I'm just going to do a little schmirkin gherkin thing here. Sorry, Alex. Since you're being so patient, I'm just going to set the room on fire. And we're going to just do this a little bit. Just because this deck's seeing a lot of action. And that was a pretty heavy reading. So I want to make sure if we're going into another love reading with the same decks, we want to kind of make sure that a lot of that energy from the previous reading has left the deck. It's just a, little precaution because we are doing sort of a similar subject, similar deck situation. And then what I do is I always knock the deck, knocking off any energy that doesn't belong on the decks. So that's why you'll hear me knock. That way they're cleared and ready for the next read. And just a little tarot tip from Tammy. All right. So general love reading for Shannon. If you get the 6 of Cups, girl, because that's got the card with the toddlers in it, I'm going to die. All right. So let's see. What does Shannon Watson need to know? What Monday messages does Shannon need to know about her love life? Please feel free to share out my videos anywhere you'd like, guys. It always helps. It lets other people find out about me. Tell your friends about me too, if you don't mind. Shannon Watson. Oh, that's an interesting cut. Okay, we'll take it, Shannon. Only 2 cards cut off that deck. All right. So your center, where you're at in your love department, is the Sun. Wow. Okay. This is major arcana. This is about attraction right now. So I would say, and this is about positive attraction. This is about the power of positive attraction. I don't know why, and this is not something that I would traditionally say with this card, but I feel the need to say it. You're not a lady to be pissed off. Does that make sense to you, Shannon? Like, I feel like you can get burned by the sun too if you're not careful. Like, there's all this love and warmth in the sun, and it can be loving and kind and wonderful. But ooh, girl, do not mess with the sun because it will burn your eyes out. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting with this. So this is a very positive love card to have as far as an attraction thing goes. It feels like you are drawing things to you, or you do have this natural capacity to draw things to you in a very big way. The sun is associated with the sign of Leo. Leo is very opulent, very generous, very like indulgent, very egoic, but in a good way, right? Like Leos love themselves. There's no way around it, but we all love Leos too. Like we can see that wonderful nature about them. So the sun brings that attraction to you. Now the foundation is from the past. This gives me a little indication of why things are the way that they are in your love department right now. It can also be the memory of this card that holds everything in place, or it's what's driving everything forward. So this is the Fool. So when it's the Fool card, it doesn't mean like fool in a bad way. The Fool is the first card in the major arcana, right? Both of these are majors. So already I know that this is going to be a very sort of, this is a big area for you, right? Major arcanas are the first 22 cards of the deck. They always pack a bigger punch. They have bigger life meaning. They have bigger intensity, all of that. So when we have the sun as our center, you know, we have like this thermonuclear center going on, right? In the love department, we're definitely brewing, creating, manifesting, thinking. I would say thoughts are hopefully positive most of the time. Optimism is high. Even though we've just come out of quarantine, it's like, hey, she's feeling like she might be able to swing something, make something happen, that sort of a thing. That's the vibe that I get with this. The Fool now, to me, is the beginning of the major arcana journey. He's called the Fool because he starts at 0. He doesn't know anything just yet. He's not very sure of himself. But the beauty in that is that it's like there's the ignorance is bliss kind of card, right? It's like we kind of can open ourselves up to everything and anything and experience the world new, right? So in the past, I think that there is this sort of fine line with the Fool where we might have made mistakes or not seen things coming because we were maybe naive or not as well savvy or educated. And so I get a feeling that we've learned from those past mistakes, but there have been mistakes made in the past where we've been a little too trusting, a little too open, maybe vulnerable at times, and that's been sort of stepped upon. And I think that's through old experiences, like things in the past, right? And we haven't let those things, what do I want to say, affect our now. Because the power of this sun says to me, she's still got optimism, she's still got hope. She hasn't let, she understands who she is, even though this Fool card is kind of like got a little bit of a naiveness to it in the past. It's like you always knew kind of what you were going into in love and why, and your intentions were always really pure, is the feeling that I get. And so from that, even if you got hurt, yes, it may have hurt, yes, it may have affected you for a while, but you've kind of allowed this to burn off somewhere in your center. Does that make sense? And so to me, it feels like that's that thing where I was like, oh, don't fuck with the sun, like, because she knows, like, you've learned your lessons from the past. And I like that there's still that optimism that you keep down here in the Fool, that newness, that freshness, the excitement of, ooh, maybe this is the one, or there's love out there for me. So I like that, and I feel like that's part of this too. So let's look at the Spirit or Soul card. So this is the Moon. Interesting. We've got the Sun and the Moon working together. The Moon would indicate confusion. It would indicate emotions. This is your higher self. All right, so I kind of feel like this is your higher self saying to you, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you're ready? And I think that there is some part of you that feels ready, because the Sun would be affirmative, yes. But I also feel like the Moon says to me that maybe at a spirit level, there's maybe been some pain or sadness, confusion, hurt that maybe happened from the past when you were being so open and optimistic, that have you fully come to terms with? Have you fully understood it? There's more of like a sort of, this is about like a self-care, loving, nurturing Cancerian energy. This is a gregarious Leo energy. This is like a expansive Aquarian energy, right? And when I'm looking at all three of these kind of represent you as a whole. These are all major arcana. This is an important thing for you to learn, Shannon. And it's an important thing for you to learn because it's going to bring you massive gifts, or whether those gifts are in love or in education or whatever, it's going to be a massive like turning point, learning point, however you want to look at it for you. That's what that says to me. Okay. The next two cards are the outside influences. These are things that could be influencing you in your love department, either positively or negatively. They can be belief systems, events, people, sometimes just energies. They're having an effect on us at this time. So we have the Queen of Cups. Interesting. Looks like a man in drag. Am I wrong? She's got her bra on her head too. I love her though, but she does look a bit masculine. All right, she's the Queen of Cups. And then I want to look at the other one. We've got the Empress. Wow. Lots of feminine energy outside of you, around you. It almost makes me wonder, and I don't want to be personal, but with all of this feminine energy around you, I almost wonder, are you interested in women? And that's not anything you need to answer, right? You don't need to answer that. But it's funny that both the Empress and the Queen of Cups both show up, two very feminine cards. So it makes me wonder if possibly you date women, because if you do, there could be options on the board for sure, or you could be attracting these women to you. I'm going to describe these women to you. These could be women that are around you that may not be romantically inclined to you, but we are asking about love. The Empress would represent like fertility. She's representative of the planet Venus, which is the planet of love. She is the divine feminine. She's card number 3. She's also major arcana. So she's going to be about fertility, creativity, abundance, all of that sort of stuff. She is connected to nature. She's a very powerful card. On the other side, we have the Queen of Cups. She would be associated with the water signs like Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. She's going to be also highly intuitive, emotional, a little bit sort of, I kind of get a feeling, and I don't know, I think it's from the art a little bit. She might be a little bit standoffish and hard to get to know. These could be men too for you. It doesn't have to be women. I don't want, like, I try not to get too much mixed up in the binary, but this feels like both are viable options as far as energy for love. This one, though, is going to be a bit more impactful, fertile, and like larger than life. Does that make sense? And this one is going to take you, I feel like, more towards the road of this moon. Only because she's the Queen of Cups, and the moon is so associated with water, and water and moons have effects on one another. So I feel like there's this weird connection between, like, if you were, like, I'm going to put this out here, like, say you had 2 options on the board, male or female, it doesn't matter, but 2 options show up in your life. One person feels like really fun, creative, probably intelligent, book smart, I don't know, just like sort of really vibrant person shows up because you're attracting this to you with this sun in the center. The other one shows up, they're a little bit deeper, they're a little bit more moody, they're a little bit more, psychically aware, they're attractive in their own way, they have like a sort of a touch with a connection with their emotions, right? But I feel like this person is going to draw this out in you. This person may draw more of this out in you, if that makes sense, because I would associate the Empress more with the harvest and the sun more with the harvest, right? Because the sun is what grows the vegetables. I know this sounds kind of weird and pagan, but that's where I'm going with this. Let's do clarifiers and see what's going on here before we go into the outcome. I'm about to spark something too, Alex. I just saw that. Oh my God, I love it. All right, so let's clarify these cards. Okay, it's weird you keep cutting these decks with only 2 or 3 cards on the cuts. It's really strange. All right, so this sun, let's see what we've got. We've got the High Priestess. We've got the Tower. Ooh, there's some wreckage in her past. And we've got the Two of Pentacles. All right, so what I'm going to say is I think that this sun and this attraction that you are pulling is real, but I think that it's a cover-up on some level for whatever's going on underneath the surface with this moon. I also see that cover-up happening with the Tower, which is sort of wreckage of the past, and the High Priestess is that sort of secretiveness, which also would tie into this moon. It's also Piscean energy. It says to me that you're very smart, very in tune. It explains why you would attract the Queen of Cups and the Empress to this High Priestess energy. This Tower to me feels like this is maybe more in the past, or Like maybe your relationships tend to be disruptive or end in a disruptive manner, or can, and you sort of are maintaining this balance, trying to make everything appear as though things are great or fine, which they are to a degree. That Sun card is not wrong or untrue, but it's like there's this part of you that fears, I think, another Tower moment potentially in love. So let's go to this Fool and look. And so you just sort of maintain this happy-go-lucky balance. And you don't, I also want to say this, I almost get a feeling like with this High Priestess here, you don't let people get to know the real you. You project this Sun, which is great, and it attracts a lot of options and people, but they don't ever really get to see the real you. And when they see the real you, it might be a little bit deeper or scarier or more than people feel as though they can handle, especially with this Moon card up in the spirit space. That's why I feel like this Queen of Cups kind of can key into that, and the High Priestess, maybe better than the Empress can. But the Empress is going to have more on offer, if that makes sense. All right, so the Fool. We've got the Ten of Cups, again, optimism, going into things like believing that like anything's possible. This is in the past, maybe having had a marriage and everything being really well and good, and maybe that marriage like fell apart at some point and it was a messy deal. But I feel like that's what was going on in the past with the Two of Swords, which would be indecision or not being able to move, and the Ace of Cups. So I do feel like there was a marriage of some sort that had to come to an end. I think that maybe you ended it or needed to make that choice to end it with this Two of Swords in the center. I do feel like this might have been a love that you might have been believed that was the love of your life. That would be the Ace of Cups and the Ten of Cups. Also, that openness of the Fool would be that excitement. So I think that there's a part of you that maybe is a little bit cynical or doesn't trust at this point. You're fearful of trusting again, maybe. And so we hide our secrets and our awareness and our strengths and stuff behind this wonderful exterior that attracts people to us, but we don't necessarily fully let them see, if that makes sense, who we are. Well, let's keep going. Hold on. So we've got the Moon. We've got the Sun here. Interesting. We've got the Star. So we've got the whole fucking cosmos here. And we've got the Ace of Wands. Okay. So with the sun's going to be affirmative. The Star is going to be about a moment of peace, tranquility, and calmness. But the Star is definitely also Aquarian energy, which we see down here in the Fool. This is about sort of maintaining and like mothering oneself through some of this deeper seated stuff. We can find our way through it with the Sun. Certainly we have that power here and we have that power here. So we need to take some of this that we put to the outside world and shine it within ourselves, for ourselves, to create this piece of this Star card. When we get to this nurturing self-love kind of place, I'm not saying you don't love yourself, but there's a little bit of work to be done there. When we get there, we get to this Ace of Wands, which is about this new beginnings, new desires, new hopes in love, and all of that sort of stuff. And that kicks off, and that's very important. It's very, and sometimes, I hate to say this, but sometimes people see this as like a sort of a phallic symbol. Like it can mean, you know, getting that attraction, that desire. Like this could be like the big D kind of thing. So I think that that opens the door for that, right? But we need to do that work up there. Okay, so let's go to the Empress, the Knight of Pentacles, Justice, and the Eight of Swords. Don't feel like this is the road to go. I'm just going to say this. I feel like the Knight of Pentacles is murky. The Justice card is a truth needs to be told. It is a stable card. It's Libran energy. The Empress is also associated with Venus, but that would associate her with Taurus, and the Knight of Pentacles would be Earth. So that would be, this person is a bit more probably practical than you would want them to be. This Eight of Swords, I don't know if you would feel trapped in the relationship with them ultimately in the end, or not feel like you could move about the cabin freely. Let's look at this Queen of Cups. We've got the Magician. We've got the Queen of Swords. We've got the Hanged Man. Again, Piscean energy. So I feel like the Queen of Cups might actually be the better answer for you. Magician would be all about creativity, the power of like harnessing that magic. He is like the male aspect, in my opinion, to the High Priestess that we see here in your center. I also feel like the Queen of Swords kind of indicates that clear, true honesty, right? There's nothing wrong with that. This is, I mean, and then the Hanged Man is sort of this indecision. Again, we have both of these cards have this sort of stuck feeling on them. Like the Hanged Man is more significant because it's major arcana. It's the sign of Pisces. It can be emotionally stuck. This is more mentally stuck, the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords usually is that we can get unstuck. The Hanged Man indicates that we have to go through some sort of spiritual revelation to become unstuck. But it comes, it happens, right? I kind of like, just in my own personal opinion, and this is more of an opinion than a read, I like this grouping here better for what's going on up here. It feels more in line with what's going on up in here. We have two majors here. We have two majors here. We have a queen here, and we have an ace here. We actually have three majors up here. So this is where more of the energy, the gift, the skill is. Over here, it's more slower, more balanced, more, it can still be good. It can be fruitful, but it's more, this might be more surface, where this might go to a little bit more depth that resonates more deeply with who you are. It's not that it will be easy, right? Because we have the Hanged Man and we have the emotions of the Queen of Cups. But I do feel like the clarity of the Queen of Swords comes in, and the dexterity and the creativity of the Magician comes in. And that means that all things are kind of possible with this option here. So let's go to the potential outcomes. And again, this is potential. It's not set in stone. It just tells me where things are happening, where they can be going, or where they might end up. This is not the best card for an outcomes card in a love reading. This is the Seven of Swords. This is the liar, cheater, thief card, basically. Don't like that as the outcome. So let's see why that showed up here today. Who is the liar, cheater, stealer? Is it the Empress, or is it the Queen of Cups? Or is it Shannon stealing ice cream from toddlers? Let's see. We have the Five of Cups. We have the Three of Pentacles. We have the Six of Pentacles. Really weird outcome. I'm going to say this, Shannon. I feel like I'm not sure that either of these two guys or potentials that are on either side of you that you could be attracting to, that could be showing up or in your space right now, right? That they are, it's not one particular one that is this Seven of Swords. I feel like either one of these possibilities could turn into this Seven of Swords situation. And the reason being is this Tower sits right here. And this Moon sits here. And it makes me feel like there's something going on in the deeper seated mind space for you, that as much as you want love and that you feel like you're ready for love and you're wanting to attract it and put out your best foot forward and be vivacious and all of those sort of things, and you're maintaining the balance and all that, the secretiveness of the High Priestess and this Tower card that sits underneath this sun says that, like, no matter which route we go, we're going to manifest a problem. That's the Hanged Man and that's the Eight of Swords, is this Seven of Swords. Like, both of these routes may turn into a situation that's not fun for you. Then we have the Five of Cups, which is like crying over spilled milk or forlorn, bad feelings, being hurt, right? That usually would make sense following the Seven of Swords. But then we have these weird, like, positive pentacle cards, which are like, that's what I don't quite get, because we have the Six of Pentacles, which is again back to here, which would be balance and Libra energy. And we have the Three of Pentacles, which is about collaboration and success, right? So these two coming together kind of take me over to this side of things. But this doesn't indicate that that's going to be enough of a success for me. Does that make sense? So what I feel like is going on here is I feel like I'm being told by the cards, and I could be wrong about this, but I feel like I'm being told by the cards that until we sort out, because this is some heady energy. Right now we're maintaining balance and like maybe having a laugh and it's all cute and good. But underneath here, we've got some pretty serious major arcana cards sitting on top of this supercharged sun. And then up here in the spirit space, we've got the moon, which is sort of that confusion, intuition, which way do I go? What do I do? How do I feel? Oh my God, help kind of thing. That's also being supercharged by the sun. And it's asking or like seeking the patience of this star. And then that new door opens up for that new desire to step forth, that new possibility, that new growth, that new learning to come forth out of nowhere, right? And I kind of feel like we need that to take place for this to all shift, for these three cards to shift. That's when these options become even more viable. It's almost like we're setting the attraction point out first, not realizing that we could be attracting to us the very same things that we've sort of dealt with in the past. Athena! Oh my God! Hi, honey! Yeah, I've been doing it for years. Please subscribe to the channel, Athena. How did you find me? That's amazing. He turned out to be a narcissist. Exactly. Oh my God, the girl that's in here from YouTube, you guys. She is my best friend's daughter. She's her teenage daughter. And this is my best friend that I grew up in high school, who's still in my hometown. And her daughter is on here. She just found me on YouTube. She's like, hi, Danny. I had no idea you did tarot. I do tarot too. I've been practicing. Girl, I will have to teach you. I will totally teach you. I'll teach you whatever you want to know. You can ask me any questions. You're good with me, Athena. Tell your sister I said hi too. So I saw Ava's hair too. It's like bright red. I think I saw it the other day on Facebook. She's got like the Rihanna red hair. I love it. So does that make sense? I don't know, like, Shannon, I don't want to leave you with like a bad. It's not a bad reading. What I want to say is that I get a feeling that what's going on here is the turmoil that's happening here in this center. It looks good from the surface. It's this beautiful sun, but there's this, and I remember when I said at the very beginning, like, be careful, this sun will burn your eyes out. Like, don't fuck with this sun. And the sun is usually not a negative card, but I got that hit like immediately that this sun, like underneath it, there's something going on. That's this tower, right? That's the secret and the power of this high priestess that I see as you. You know your shit, girl. There's no problem there. You're really good and adept at knowing it and also maybe even hiding it, right? But there's some work that you need to do up here that will bring about some beautiful peace, some real understanding of who you are and what you're worth and what you're willing to put up with. And it brings about the new doors of this new desire coming in, right? then these options that are there become all the more viable. I just don't like that both of these options end in this stuck card feeling. And then we end up with this. And that's what I think these are trying to tell me, is these both lead to something like this if we don't take this step to clear up this stuff here. Your hair's purple now, Athena? That's awesome. Yes, it does. Had a few options, but was very confused by them. I wouldn't be confused. I just don't think, I mean, have fun with the options. Like if you want to date and mess around, have fun. Don't get too emotionally attached. Do the emotional work you need to do to find that peace up here, because that's more important right now, I think. And then that changes these outcomes versus getting involved with these heavy hitter sort of emotional cards. Because let's say this, I know that we had two heavy female cards, right? So I was thinking, wait, does she date women? Which would be a very obvious answer, and that's not true. But what I mean is that what I think that means is that you could get very emotionally attached to both of these options. That's the feminine nature of these cards, right? We have the Empress here, and we have the Queen of Cups here. So it's not about these being actual women as much as these being actual emotional connections that you could feasibly make with these connections that could set you up for more pain or heartache or sadness, because you do want love. There is this part of you that does want this. There's this, even with this Ace of Cups down here in the bottom and the Fool, it says to me there is an innocence about you and a desire. Even the Ten of Cups is down here too, right? Where we could look at this from the standpoint of the Fool is that optimism, right? The Ten of Cups is the belief that it exists and that we want it and that we've had it. Maybe we've lost it, or we put on blinders to seeing the reality that it doesn't always work out that way. And we still pursue the Ace of Cups, which is that new everlasting love, right? So this is all in your foundation of what's pushing you in the background from the past. So your intentions are pure and good. And that's where I feel like I worry about you, because this Queen of Cups and the Empress are beautiful cards to want to fall in love with. So these will be men that will present themselves, or women, there's no judgment here, but they can be partners that present themselves in ways that we just automatically feel safe and nurtured by, right? And we fall deep in with them, right? And we have this magician, the Queen of Swords, like all of these things where, oh my God, you've turned me on, you're so smart, you're so this, and then you're like, oh fuck, I'm stuck. Wait, how did I get here? This isn't right. This isn't this doesn't feel right. Same is happening over here. It's like, this one's a little bit more earthy and slow moving, but yeah, they're stable. They've got all these things, but oh wait, fuck, I'm stuck. The Eight of Swords, like she's trapped and she's like, wait, this isn't right either. And it's this sort of thing where it's not maybe that they're liar, cheater, stealers, but we might be cheating ourselves in some way, shape, or form right now by not doing some of this work up here. And Alex is going to come to my house and kill me for waiting this long for her reading. I'm sorry, Alex. You're up next. I'm an empath too. That's how I read these cards a lot of times. I'm going to try and put together a class for how to read tarot with empathy, like empathic tarot reading. That's how I believe that I read the cards. That's why, like, the Sun card will look like what it's attracting and it's positive, but it also can look like I can feel that, like, ooh, wait, don't fuck with that sun. Like, that's the empathy in me, right? I can feel like, ooh, that sun will burn you. Watch out. Like, that's how I read cards. So I don't necessarily, I have the traditional meanings in my head, but they don't always translate in the readings to what's being said to me in the cards. I will totally help you, Athena. Thank you, Ashley. All right, so I'm going to clear this up. I hope that makes sense, Shannon. And you know I'm always here. If you have any questions, you can always direct them to the business page. And let's get into the most patient angel of the bunch, Miss Alex. She's been waiting all night for her reading. So thank you, Alex, for waiting and being patient. So we're going to do deck 1. Whoops, sorry. We have deck 1, deck 2, and deck 3. So you get to choose which deck you want me to work with. The only thing you need to know, Alex, I don't know if you remember this, is that this is a tarot deck with oracle deck. That's the only difference. The other ones are all tarot. You're welcome, Shannon. Thank you so much for buying the reading. I really appreciate it. Wow, it's been 2.5 hours. Oh my God, this has been a long video. General for me, no specific part of my life. I'm letting whatever message that needs to come, and 2, please. All right, so we're going with the middle deck. Perfect. All right, so let's do general for Alex. Again, thank you so much for your patience. I really appreciate it. What a gas that Athena's here. I think that's awesome. Say hi to your mom for me, Athena. Tell her I love her. Oh my God, me and your mom. She's like, oh, I love her to death. We had to have so many crazy adventures when we were kids. All right, so what does Alex's Monday messages need to be? What does Alex need to know? Okay. All right, so this is where you're centered at right now, Alex. This is the 9 of Cups, sorry. So this to me, I feel like we're feeling pretty good right now. Like right out of the gate, he's a little bit smug. We'll give him that, right? He's doing good. We've got everything lined up. Emotionally, things should be in order. It feels like a lot of work's taken place to get us here, right? Like we've put in the work, we've done the emotional work, maybe, therapy, whatever, but we've taken the time to take care of ourselves. And this is sort of where we're centered at right now. I like this. The focus is not necessarily on ourselves, but we've had the focus on ourselves enough leading up to this point that we now feel very self-assured in what we have, not only within ourselves, but what we also bring to the table to offer to others, right? And so I like this as your center. It's a very strong, powerful, and emotional card. It is associated with the water signs. That would be Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. But to me, this feels just about being self-sufficient, having done the work, done the exploration, the deep seeking stuff to bring about that abundance that comes with the 9 of Cups. Now, in the foundation, this is the card that's from the past. It tells me a bit about sort of what was going on in the past that led for things to be the way that they are today. It also can be the memory of this card that holds everything in place or drives, okay. So this makes complete sense to me in the sense that in the past we felt stuck. This is the 8 of Swords, right? And she's blindfolded, she's tied up, she's kind of in this puddle of her emotions, right? She's like, shit, I'm standing in my own pee. It's not really, but like, you know what I mean? She's like not having a good day. Let's just say that. And this could be due to our own mind. This could be due to actual limiting external influences, relationships, jobs, whatever. But whatever it was, things in the past were not good, right? We were stuck. You got your ass unstuck, girl. More like kudos to you. Now, like, see all this water down here at her feet, like the pee that I was kidding about? You've got it all lined up and cleaned up in your cups behind you. You're like, nah, I did the damn thing. I'm okay. I'm good, right? I'm not going to let that happen to me again. That's what I hear there. So I like this. The beauty of the 8 of Swords is that we're, it's kind of about us realizing that we can get ourselves out of a bind when we need to. But this bind, I don't know why. I get a feeling that this lasted for a really long time for you. I don't know if you can say yes or no for me, Alex, but I feel like this lasted for a really long time, this bind. Like it was something that you struggled with for a while. It may have been maybe a couple of different struggles, but it feels like it was a period of years where you're like, oh fuck, not this again. Or like you got over one thing and then another thing hit you. It's that kind of a vibe. So I get this feeling that this is a long period of, I don't want to say darkness, but kind of like struggle, let's say. So that makes this all the more richer, like where you are now, right? It makes it all the more sort of valuable. That's why you're able to sit here and be proud of yourself. And I think that that's important. And that's a beautiful thing. That's something that should be acknowledged, that like sometimes in our society, we are taught to like not be too proud or not to sing our praises. I think here's a place where we should sing your praises, because it's like the work was done, the struggle was real, and we made it back to talk about it and actually have something to offer others from it. It's not just, you know, we fixed ourselves and moved on. It's like there's also something here that you have that you can give back to those around you. Right now, the next card is above you. This is the Spirit or Soul card. This tells me where your spirit or soul is at. Beautiful. So this is the Magician. This is Major Arcana. It's the first card of the deck of the Major Arcana after the Fool, card number 1. He is like the sort of manifestational power of creation, right? He represents all of the suits. He is the ability to manifest, create. Right now with this 9 of Cups, your emotions are so lined up and so good. Whatever you've got going on in your mind, in your heart, in your desires, in your spirit, girl, get with it. Like do the damn thing, because this to me feels so rich and so like sort of self-assured and powerful. With this in your higher self space, it is about being able to make shit happen, right? Like, and I know that there might be things that you might have ideas about that you're like, oh no, I don't know. Well, actually, this is such a positive card. You might actually feel like you can, right? And that's why I think that that even makes this even more supercharged. But if you're doubting yourself in any way, shape, or form, this card says to me, trust spirit, trust your own higher self. Your own higher self is working from this state of the Magician, which is like if you look at the card, he's holding that like magic wand up in this sky, sort of like demanding it, like, I will have this now, God damn it. So to me, I feel like anything that you want right now, as long as it sort of feels right and is emotionally correct with you, it's yours to be had. The only thing is like limitations from the past could be lingering in the background with this down here in the foundation. Be aware of that. Don't let those past experiences and limitations haunt you so much so that it throws you off of your center. I don't think they will, but I do want to call that out, because this is the significance of this position is the past sometimes does have an effect on our now and into the future. So this being that sort of stuck hard times feeling, we don't want to lose the faith of what we've got going on here, which I feel like these two cards are so very strong that you probably won't, but we'll see in the clarifiers what could potentially be underneath these, right? Now, the next two cards are the outside influences. These are two influences that are having an effect on you, either positively or negatively. They can be either people, events, belief systems, or energies that are just having an effect on you. They don't belong to you, they're just around you. So we have the 9 of Swords. So this is nightmares. I think that this is other people's worries for you. And the reason why I say that is because if you look how the swords are pointed at you, to me, if it was this way, it would feel different. Do you see how that is? I'm just kind of showing you guys the difference in that. I feel like there might be somebody that worries for you or thinks like they might be a little bit judgmental of you. There could be multiple people that worry for you and how you're handling things. This could also be some of this stuff from the past that you felt restricted by, still lingering around you, trying to get you back trapped. Do you see what I'm saying with all of this swords energy? Swords is the element of the mind, or the air element, and the sort of the area of the mind, written contracts, things like that. But to me, this could be family. This could be ideas of what they think you should be doing. And even though you know you feel okay, they might be trying to like inadvertently undermine that through their own worries for you. Right? Or something like to that effect, right? Don't let that in. Like, let's just say that, because all this is, and that's also why this sits down here, right? This 8, this could be the worries of others having kept us in fear in the past. And so those worries still exist. And even if those worries are well-intentioned, you know, like sometimes we can have a mother that loves us and worries about our safety, but her worries only create anxiety in us, and that doesn't actually help us. And then she gets upset because we don't listen to her. And then we feel like a bad child. And the next thing you know, it's this whole big snowball effect. And it ended up working. That Nine of Swords energy ended up working. And it undermined us. But don't let that in. So that's out there. Be aware of that. Doesn't mean it's going to break you down. It just means it's out there, and it could trigger some of this down here. So, and then we have the Queen of Pentacles. Love it. All right. So, and I feel like this is a woman. Okay. And the Nine of Swords, yes, it's a woman in the bed, but I do normally the numbered cards don't have sexes usually. And tonight there's been two really weird things with the readings. We've had that Two of Wands that felt like a court card, and tonight this felt like a woman to me. I feel like there's a woman around you that might worry about you or worry about how you're doing things or want to affect how you're doing things. We have another woman over here, the Queen of Pentacles. She would be either, if she's not a specific person, she would ideally be an earth sign like Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. But she would be a highly creative person, nurturing, loving, giving, generous, grounded, smart, discerning, practical, just very lovely person, ideally. If this is not a specific person that you can place in your life, this is an energy or an experience that can help you to create some of the things that you want. What I love about this is she is sort of the master creator, because Pentacles is earth energy, right? It's that money, it's that coin, right? And so anything to do with the earth is material goods, right? So like we're talking about money, home, jobs, things like that. She is going to help you to make those things even better. And there's another thing. I don't know if Athena's still here, but keep listening, Athena. There's another thing where queens represent the cups, right? Each of the suits of the court cards represent each of the elements also. So she is the queen, which would be the cups of pentacles, right? So she's earth first, but she's also water underneath that because she's the queen. You have this Nine of Cups here. So she naturally gravitates towards that. Does that make sense? So I feel like there's this kind of communion between your Nine of Cups, where you're at, what you've been through, all of that, that she can appreciate, this person can appreciate for you. And she can help you to sort of guide you along this path. This person, I don't know if this is a person, it could be, I mean, this would be an air sign, if anything, but usually numbered cards don't represent people. But I feel like this is like mom energy, to be honest. Like worried mom energy is how this feels to me. Somebody that doesn't understand why you're doing the way that you're doing it. Or if this is like an ex that they don't like that you're happy now. It's that kind of an energy, right? Where they're like, well, she shouldn't be so fucking happy. Like, you know, it's that kind of energy. Don't listen to that. And Jen, it doesn't have to be an earth sign. So you can be this Queen of Pentacles if you want to be that for her, but you're going to have to be generous to her and help her out in her career and her money. Okay. So let's shuffle for clarifiers really quick. Oops. And we'll look at what's going on here, clarifier wise. All right. Get out of here, Ashley. Well, wait, what are you guys saying? I don't, sounds like it's me, Alex. Oh, I didn't know you all knew each other. That's interesting. Okay, wait. So who sounds like who? Tell me. Yes, makes sense for both. Okay, it's you, Ashley. I don't do any sort of guidance. You guys are so dong crazy. I was just going to say Brenda. All right, so let me do this. The Nine of Cups. And what's going on? What's going on with all these cards? Give me clarifiers. What more does she need to know? Okay. All right. So on the Nine of Cups, we have the Ace of Wands. So new ideas, new desires, new hopes coming from all of this emotional work that you've done. So that's really exciting to me. I like that there. Aces always are focused on the self, and it's always about new beginnings coming out of nowhere. So this is a really pivotal, like exciting time, especially with this Magician up in your spirit space. That also coincides really nicely. This could be the very wand that he's holding up here that I was pointing out to you, right? It's like sort of, emanating within you, coming out of you. You're feeling good. You should feel like sort of self-sustained, successful, and ready to take on new projects, new things. We have that 10 of Cups. Shit, girl. This is like wishes and dreams fulfilled. Somebody over here may not want you to be like, they might be worried for you, like if you fall, right? Or like if you don't achieve it or something. Does that make sense? Because like to me, there's all this hope in here. And then we have the 7 of Cups. That's a little bit of confusion for sure. That's about having one too many choices or not being sure which route to choose and feeling emotional about it. There's a lot of cups energy happening in here with the 9, 10, and the 7. So there's a lot of emotions going on. Most of it, the majority of it is good, and there is options, but sometimes we can get caught up on those options. And I think the catch up on these options is some of the worry of the past and maybe the worry of those around us that say, "Ooh, you don't want to choose the wrong thing." This could be something as simple as like people saying, "Oh yeah, I remember when my life was real good, and then I went and I chose to buy that lawnmower and I cut my leg off." You know what I mean? Something like that, where it undermines our faith in ourselves. So don't let this shit in if you can avoid it. But it's there. And this is something that's important to you. So that 7 of Cups should be there, right? There should be a little bit of worry involved. We don't want to fuck this up because I'm not saying you will fuck it up, but I'm saying if we want something and we want it bad enough, we desire it enough, and it's that possible, and it brings in this 10 of Cups, 9 of Cups energy, we're going to be a little bit worried that we want to bring this one in. We want to reel this fish in, right? We want to land this. And I think that we will with this Magician working up here. We just have to, and the Queen of Pentacles is working in our favor too. She wants to help us, whether it's through energy, situations, or people around us. She wants to help us. All right, so let's go to the 8 of Swords. So for the 8 of Swords, we have the 5 of Wands, lots of fuckery. This is the fuckery card, straight up. This is like a bunch of kids fucking around, fighting. Somebody's going to put an eye out. Everybody's competing. It's no fun. It's fiery. It's arguments. It's bullshit. We don't need it. Like, it's in the past, but that definitely, we felt stuck in that. Maybe we had to fight our way through. The Page of Pentacles, that would be a little bit about that could be being breadcrumbed. That could be about somebody maybe keeping us trapped. This could have been the person we felt trapped to. Maybe we were in a relationship where we thought they were giving us enough and it wasn't really. It was too little too late. They were being a bit selfish. They could have been a little bit narcissistic in a way. That's not necessarily a traditional Page of Pentacles meaning, but it could be that kind of a relationship where we were maybe giving more than they were. And so we were sort of kept there. The Knight of Swords, this could be about impulsive, jumping to conclusions impulsively. It's definitely air energy. It looks like he's coming in to save you in a way, wrapped up in those swords there. This might have been somebody in the past that came to help you. Knights would indicate older males, sometimes females, of the air sign variety. This could be Jen Di Fiore if she's a Libra. This could be Jen coming in on her white horse going, dun, 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 I'm going to save you from that rat bastard who barely treated you right and all those assholes that were fighting with you. So maybe that's Jen down here. But this person jumps in and comes into the fray and tries to like probably get you up out of this in your past. So, and the past to me does feel like a kind of a bit of a fucked situation in a multitude of ways, right? Let's just say that. So yeah, she's older. You guys are brutal. You're savage. Older. Okay. So let's go to the 9 of Swords and see what's going on with the 9 of Swords. We have the 2 of Wands. That's all about hope and creation. That's actually, to me, that's a really interesting card to fall on the 9 of Swords, because to me, whatever this 9 of Swords energy is, if it's a person, because I feel like it might be a specific person or like maybe friends or family members that care about you. This says to me they do really care. They want the best for you, but it's funny, they're looking away from you. Like if you look at this, how the swords are pointed at you, the thoughts are pointed at you, their desires for you are looking away from you, right? Like they think that they know what you need, but they have no idea because they don't even see you. Does that make sense? So it's like, you know, there's that phrase, the path to hell is paved with the truest intentions, right? To me, that's kind of like what's going on here. It feels like the worry and the thoughts and the sort of undermine, yet their desires for you are pure, but they're not really based in any reality that makes any sense to you because they're sort of looking that way, going like, oh, she should be over there doing that. I don't know if that makes sense. We have the Ace of Swords, which is about clarity and truth, the truth coming out. So ultimately, whatever this Nine of Swords drama is, I don't think it's going to prevail. I think your truth will come out, or the truth of their insecurities, their anxieties, their fears will fall away and no longer have any power. And then we have the Tower, and that would be the falling apart of that. Okay. The Tower here, this could be other people's towers. I feel like with this Nine of Swords, this could be other people talking about their lives falling apart. That, like I was saying with that sort of goofy lawnmower comment that I made. Oh, I forgot to do I should have done the Magician next, but that's fine. Everything happens for a reason. This would be them living from that space of fear for themselves, right? And then sharing that fear with you out of concern to keep you safe. But that's their experience, not yours. Let's go to the Magician. The Magician is the Fool, right? That's the first card. We have 0 and then 1. So these are the first 2 cards of the Major Arcana. The Fool is about remaining open. It's expansive Aquarius energy. So is the Magician, I believe. Or the Magician might be associated with planet Mercury. But anyways, the Fool to me is about remaining open to the possibilities, of your higher self, your spirit being guided, being led, allow the new journey to happen. There's a new journey with this Ace of Swords too that's happening here in the center. We don't want to deny it. We want to be open to it. And we want to trust that our higher self will guide us in a way and create for us exactly what we need and when we need it. We have the Four of Cups. This would be about being a little bit reluctant or maybe a little bit bored, trying to not, that's an interesting card. I kind of feel like that could be, let me look at that for a minute, one moment. Where is the resistance though? This card can sometimes be about resistance, but I don't feel resistance in these cards. I feel a little bit of trepidation here in this Seven of Cups, right? A little bit of confusion and worry here, but it doesn't connect to this. It doesn't feel like it connects. This is about, I almost want to say this is like I see this as you sort of connecting to yourself, grounding, meditating, taking what's offered to you, keeping your emotions as stable as possible. You've got a lot of cups happening down here in the center, right? Mostly good cups, right? The Four of Cups can indicate boredom, insolence, like not making a decision, kind of being resistant to a situation. But to me, this with the Fool and the Magician up here and this being the spirit space, this says, all right, sit down, Alex, and listen to what spirit has to tell you from time to time. Be open, give spirit that moment to sort of guide you and allow you to step into these roles of the Fool and the Magician versus, you know, swinging on the high feels of the 9 and 10 of Cups. Does that make sense? And so this says to me like ground, and then you can make a more clearer, better decision for yourself as you move forward. And then the last card is the Three of Wands, which is about creation. We have that Two of Wands over there looking away from you, right? But that's other people's stuff. This is you and your spirit. Where do you want to go today? What do you want to create? And remember the Three of Wands, there's an easy way to remember the 2 and 3 of Wands in common terms. The Two of Wands, this is a great thing that I learned from another reader. The Two of Wands is like placing the order on Amazon, and the Three of Wands is waiting for it to be delivered, right? So it's like, it's already got that expectation. We've already formulated the plan, and we're waiting for it to come to us. The formulation of the plan for you might be in this Four of Cups, in this time that you take, in this space that you find for yourself where you stabilize your emotions. Because even the 9 and 10 of Cups, although they're great, they're those high swinging emotions where when we're up in those highs and the excitement of, ooh, if I could have this, if I could have that, if I could have this, that's when we shift into that scared confusion stuff. So it's nice to kind of ground and then get back in touch with our higher self, listen to that message and let it guide us, right? Because it's coming. That's the Three of Wands. The expectation of the Three of Wands says that whatever we want, whatever we work towards, whatever we give fair time and attention to, we can create and manifest and let come in. All right, so let's go to the Queen of Pentacles because she wants to help create too. She loves to manifest. So we've got the Knight of Wands. We've got the 10 of Wands. And we've got the 5 of Pentacles. All right. So Knight of Wands also would be fire energy. It could be somebody that wants to come in and help. They sometimes lack staying power, the Knight of Wands. But the Queen of Wands would sort of negate that, I feel like. This is a really strange run of cards with this Queen of Wands because I feel like the 10 and the 5, the 10 feels like the ending of a chapter, the dropping of a burden. That's what that always represents. But the 5 feels like being left out in the cold. And I was so sure she's here to help. But these don't feel like the most helpingest of cards. Like, let me see here. I feel like I'm not bothered by the Queen and I'm not bothered by the Knight. I think that they're here to assist. The Knight, my only issue with the Knight is that he comes in quickly and he could be a little bit like lacking in staying power. There's something that needs to be let go of here, though. There's something that you might be carrying, Alex, that you don't know about yet. It could be some of what's going on over here. It could be some of what's going on down here. But you're going to have to drop it or let it go, release it. The Queen may expect that from you so that you can move to the next chapter or that you can move to the next creation so that you can maintain the high vibe of what's going on here in the center. The 5 of Pentacles, 5s are always transitory, right? They're transitional cards. But the 5 of Pentacles is usually like a financial setback of some sort. I don't think that this is permanent and I don't think that this is a big deal, but I think that it's something that could happen. So to be prepared for that, it's almost like a shedding of, I almost feel like with the 10 of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles could be a shedding that takes place as this Queen helps us to get to a better place. We might have to let go of some things that we didn't necessarily think were, I don't want to say that they're harming us. I don't think that they're harming us, but I feel like in an effort to get to these newer heights, we may have to let go of some things that we thought were things that we were going to keep for a little while, is the feeling that I'm getting. I'm not that card anymore. You're the damn IRS. So I just think that something's going on here. Like, I think that this is more about Alex, though. Like, it's going to require her letting go of something. The IRS. Let's look at the outcome and see where this is going to end up for you. This is not set in stone. It is just where things are naturally heading, barring that nothing major changes, right, guys? So we can use free will to make choices and changes in our life to affect the outcome so it doesn't come to pass. But if it's something good, we can take heart in the fact that it's we're naturally heading towards it. So let's see what's going on. We've got the 8 of Cups. I don't like that card. Clarify the 8 of Cups for me, please. Ace of Pentacles, Justice, and Knight of Cups. So when I see that 8 of Cups, the first thing I thought was, what is it that we need to walk away from that we're unwilling to walk away from, Alex? I feel like it is sort of, It's like, I almost want to say, to create what is going on here, we have all this beautiful newness, right? We have the Nine of Cups, which is this feeling of feeling solid, feeling good, all of that. We have the Ace of Wands, the Ten of Cups, right? This is new beginnings, new desires. To achieve these new desires and to achieve this like life of happiness, there's some confusion about what to choose. And there's something we need to choose to walk away from. Some of that we can see very clearly here. This is the outside opinions of others and things that we've walked away from in the past. But there's something that we need to walk away from as the outcome now that is going to be emotionally sort of saddening or hard for us to do. But when we do it, it leads us to this Ace of Pentacles, which is that new beginning, which again, I feel like this pentacle ties back to this queen and this setback and this laying down of this burden. There's some sort of choice, and justice comes in, which is Libran energy, but it's also about a truth being told, things being restored back to the way that they should be. I almost want to say, like, I feel like, is there a boyfriend you need to kick to the curb because there could be a new man coming? But because the Knight of Cups is sometimes an offering of love, but I don't think that that's what this reading is fully about. It's not like I get heavy love vibes, although there is a little bit of a happily ever after thing happening here with this Ten of Cups. But I think this is more about you setting about creating what it is that you want in your life. And I wonder if there's not something that still holds you down in some way, shape, or form, maybe not as bad as things did in the past, but you have to let it go if you're going to pass the Queen's sort of test. That could be your Knight of Swords, your Knight of Wands here. Like, do you have a partner that kind of lacks staying power? That you might have to drop him, and that's this sort of separation or setback that's out in the cold. You have to like emotionally come to terms with that, walk away, and then you open the door for new things to come. Then like justice reigns supreme. That's sort of the vibe that I'm getting. I don't know. Wait. You all are going nuts in this chat. It could be Brenda and the court shit. I was thinking the having a baby. Oh my God. Y'all are driving me crazy. Larkin is the new man. I can't even keep up with you women. All right. So I just feel like something needs to be. And the Eight of Cups is not a bad card. It's just that, like, it's a card where we have to come to terms with something emotionally to be able to depart from it. And it's such a departure from the 9 and the 10 that is your goal and your center here that it says to me there's something going on. And I also see it here in this 10 of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles that is sitting on this Queen of Pentacles, which she should be a benefit to you. But she's asking you to sort of drop this burden. And we see that burden being dropped emotionally here in this Eight of Cups. And then that's when the Queen pays you with this new opportunity. Justice reigns supreme. Like the truth comes out. Like this was the right path. And then we move forward, whether this is a new suitor or this is us, we're moving forward emotionally clean, pure, and in route to the new thing that we love, if that makes sense. Definitely sounds like the baby situation. Ha ha ha. I'm so sorry. My husband and I are having a long, crazy past. We finally came together. We were hoping to have another baby. Last night, I put it out that we were ending that journey, but I definitely have these emotions surrounding that. I feel like that's what this 8 is like you need to, I don't want to tell anybody to leave anybody. But I feel like that's the confusion of this. There's happiness out there that you know that you can have without, not without him, but like and it's not in spite of him either. But it feels to me like you're being asked to let go of this burden. You're just looking for a new baby, Alex? Is that what you're with him for? Because the baby could come from this knight. There could be somebody new coming. This is always the Knight of Pentacles. I mean, sorry, the Knight of Cups is usually a love offering. Like somebody that's showing up down the line that like might be the one to like. So if like what I'm saying is if it's about the baby more so than the man, I would get about getting rid of the man, and then the baby can find its way to you through another man if it's like that. I know that sounds kind of sketchy, but I also think that this Three of Wands too, to me, this is somebody that's looking outward elsewhere. So that makes sense too, to the idea of looking to other options, other horizons, other oh, and that would explain this Two of Wands. This could be him. Because like it's like I feel like he really does love you, right? That would be the Two of Wands. This is his worries and fears. This is the Two of Wands would be him actually really loving you and caring about you and trying to make this work. The truth is that you can't necessarily do it. That would be the Ace of Swords, the truth coming out last night, and then the Tower is the fallout of all of that. Yeah, no. He's the one who had me bound and standing in my own pee to reference you for 13 years. LOL. That's this prick down here. Yeah, like I feel like this is the guy that breadcrumbs you. I feel like, but that could be what's going on here now as the outside influence too. I think that you're going to walk away. You need to walk away. I think that's what's right for you. I think that opens new doors for you. I think that there's too much going on in you internally that says that there's new beginnings and there's all sorts of creation going on, like all sorts of creative power within you that you have access to that you need to channel and run and not be held down anymore. It's my feeling. And new beginnings will happen. Even if this is not like, say, a new romantic suitor, this is just a new chapter. Like this could be a new loving chapter of your life coming to you, right? It doesn't have to be a specific person, but it could be. We have an 8-year-old. We were hoping for another. We came to a crossroads in the baby journey. As much as it disappointed me, I knew that we were at the end of that road. And I think that is emotionally this, like dealing with this. Like coming to terms with it and making the decision, and that's the outcome. And it is the right decision, is my feeling, because the Justice card is here. It means that like the truth prevails, justice reigns. It's like what's right is right. And it's not, to be honest, it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be a defined ending in a way. It's like it's an ending for you emotionally where you've detached and moved on. You may still have a relationship to him because of the child that you share, but it's like a new day happens, like the Knight of Cups would signify something new and lovely coming into your life, a new chapter opening up. I hope that makes sense. I hope that brings clarity. I think that there's opportunities here for you, definitely. But there's sacrifices too that need to be made. And that's also the confusion that we see in the Seven of Cups is which thing do I let go of, which do I not? And emotionally being attached to a lot of them and how it affects those around you. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Alex. I think that you're in a very good place right now to enact change, even if those around you don't want you to, if that makes sense. And some of what you might have to do to enact that change might be a little bit emotionally painful. But as you do that, you'll understand why you needed to do that. In the end, right? Like it'll make sense in the end kind of thing. It's like that hindsight is 2020 thing where you look back at it and you go, oh, now I understand why I had to go through that. You're welcome, Alex. Could it be a new journey for him and her? I don't know, Jen. I don't think so because that Eight of Cups to me feels really emotionally like it feels weird. What sign is he, Alex? Can you answer that for me? My thing is it sort of felt weird because that Queen of Pentacles felt really beneficial the whole time until the cards rolled out on her. And then the Knight of Wands is not a bad card, but then that 10 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles. 10 of Wands isn't necessarily a bad card either. Sometimes it's setting down a burden can be a good thing, right? But to me, it just didn't feel right. He's a Taurus, and Taurus would be indicated down in that bottom with that Page of Pentacles, right? That's Earth energy. So I don't know. I don't know if that means that there's a new story for them because that Eight of Cups to me, her center being the 9 and the 10 and all of that positivity, right? Feels like, and there's also that Ace of Wands in there, which is that new beginnings. There's a lot of like, I mean, only Alex can answer this question, but is he the one that she wants to be with? Like, in her gut, does she think that she could have that happily ever after with him? Because the happily ever after card was in that 10 of Cups on top of that 9 of Cups with that Ace of Wands. But then there was that 7 of Cups on top of all of that, which would indicate confusion. Like, I don't know. Is this the right way to go? Is this the right way to choose? There's an emotional toss up happening. It's not with what she feels about herself, right? She understands who she is and where she feels about things. It's like, but I would say that there is a little bit of an emotional confusion and connections and pains and stuff towards the past and him and all of that. And she has to come to the outcome is that she's going to come to terms with that in that Eight of Cups. He could be that Knight of Cups, but I don't know. The Justice card makes me feel like because that Justice card sitting in the center of that run of cards was the only major that was in that ending, right? So that would be a pretty significant outcome. It would indicate like the truth coming to light, or I mean, that could be that they connect back and everything's fine, but I think that Alex already knows this. As I'm like thinking about how the cards were laid out and where everything was, I think Alex kind of already knows that it's not right. Is my feeling. And that's the 7 of Cups, and that's that 8 of Cups where she has to do that emotional work of separating, because like I feel like there's too much energy up in her, like where she had the Magician and the Fool and all of that stuff going on in her spirit space. Like there's a lot of opportunity for new creation of new stuff that like aligns with her, is my feeling, that she wants, that she desires. Does he fit that bill? I don't know. Like, I didn't get the sense that that was what that was, but she could answer that. Who else is watching? Like, I'm wondering who else is still tuned in. There's 8 of you. Thank you guys for staying this whole time. This is like, I've been on for 3 hours and 20 minutes. This is crazy. But I know that there's 3 of you that are talking, but thank you all for staying on and watching. He's who I want, but I can't say that even now. I don't sometimes question. I think given our past, it would be hard not to. We're definitely at the point in our relationship where he wants me more than I want him. Yeah. And that's kind of maybe what it was opposite for years. Okay. And I think that's maybe part of the problem. And I think that he doesn't like that. And I think that that 9 of Swords is his gig. He doesn't like that. Remember when I said those swords were pointed at you? I don't think he likes that you're in that place of the 9 of Cups where you feel okay and you feel confident and you feel like I can either stay or go. And that threatens him on some level. And so, I mean, there is a possibility he could be that Knight of Cups, but he's going to have to change up his act. But that 8 of Cups as the outcome feels more like an emotional departure. Like the 8 of Cups represents this idea of like coming to terms emotionally with a situation that is painful and no longer deciding to reside in it anymore. Like making the decision that the pain is too much or not worth the value of what the relationship still provides. So making the decision to pick up our cups and walk away, kind of thing. That's the 8 of Cups ultimately. And so that being the outcome of all of this says to me that like somebody is going to have to come to terms with their emotions, and then either you could use walk away as a metaphor, as like maybe he walks away and changes into a better version of himself. But I don't know. Oh, hey Dorothy, thank you for staying. That's awesome. You rock. The Tito's and NyQuil. I think you should call. I think you need to create a cocktail, Ashley, and you need to call it. Hold on. I need to be talking directly to you. I think you need to create your own handcrafted artisan cocktail of Tito's and NyQuil and call it Nitos. I think that'd be funny. Nitos. I'm having me a Nitos tonight. NYTOS. I'm telling you, it's the new handcrafted cocktail. It'll be like Tide Pods all over again. And you could have the Nitos challenge on TikTok. Oh my God. Well, I don't know. I mean, like I said, this is the other thing too. With my outcomes, ladies, it's always potential. It's sort of like where things are naturally heading now, barring that nothing major changes, right? So it's like kind of where we're at right now in the snapshot of the reading. So that 8 of Cups is kind of where Alex may be leaning towards more so right now. But that doesn't say that it's set in stone. I always say that with my outcomes. So I don't want you living my outcomes going like, oh God, I've got to leave him. That's not the point of the reading. The point is to show you sort of where the energy is kind of steering yourself towards. If you want to choose to steer in a different direction, that's your free will. That's your free choice. You have every right to do that. And I empower you and say, go for it, do it. If you don't want to leave him or you feel like he can change, stay and empower him to do so. But it looks like with that 7 of Cups, it feels like to me your center felt beautiful with the 9 of Cups, the 10 of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. To me, that felt a little bit like almost so beautiful that it was like a little bit, wow, like that's a little scary. When I saw the, and I mean scary, like exciting scary. Like sometimes when things are really exciting to me, they scare me. So that would be exciting to me to see those 3 cards come out as my center. But then when I saw the 7 of Cups, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like this is like the normal part of her where she's like, she doesn't have it all like totally wide open and like possible. She's thinking about some other stuff. So, but that's just where it looks like for now. Like it doesn't necessarily, I'm not saying you have to leave him. I'm just saying that it looks like where things are heading is that somebody's going to emotionally mature enough to depart and be like, you know what? And part of the reason why I feel that too is like that Justice card also feels like sort of, she kind of, when Justice shows up, she sort of like is a line drawn in the sand as far as a card is concerned. She can be the truth coming out. She's like, there's no more room for miscommunication. There's no more room for, she's sort of like pretty clean and clear and cut. So that's why it made me feel like, boom. It could be a truth that he bestows and brings about and then shifts into the Knight of Cups. Great, go for it. And I will say this, the Ace of Pentacles that happened on that too, could be that new beginning, that new material beginning. So maybe something has to shift within him emotionally. Maybe that 8 of Cups for him is a shift that he's going to have. Not that he departs, but some sort of shift he has emotionally that turns him into the Knight of Cups for you. That's a possibility. I mean, I could see it as being that way. It wasn't necessarily feeling that way to me as I was looking at the cards, but I mean, you could be calling me 6 months from now and saying he turned into the Knight of Cups, and I wouldn't be surprised. Nito's nightly. She's on her Nitos. You should like eat them with Cheetos. Just Cheetos and Nitos, girl. If it doesn't end in ITOS, I don't do it. That's how it works. No, I know you're not. And like that's the thing with the eight of Cups is it will be very well measured, like very well like thought over, pondered. It's not like the 8 of Cups is not like a fuck this, I'm out. It's like a okay, I've done the work, I've done the investigation, I've looked at everything possible, and this is no longer an option. That's kind of how the 8 of Cups plays out, in my opinion. It's just like having done the emotional work, and it's just realizing that this is not for me anymore. All right, you guys, thank you so much for buying readings. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be back on. I'm going to try and do this like every night and see if I cannot make this like work. I want this to work and I need it to work, but I need like a lot of viewers. So the more that you guys share me out, the more that helps. Please like the video, share the video, do whatever you need to do. Tell your friends, tell your mama, hide your children, hide your wives, hide your Nitos. I will be back tomorrow night. Feel free to stop in. You don't always have to buy a reading when you're around. You can just come in and talk shit. I don't care. I don't mind that either. I like that. But I'm just gonna try and be more regular about doing this and getting back to normal. Thank you, Jen. You rock too, girl. You're welcome, Alex, and thank you for being so patient. I would have swore that you were on Nitos, girl, for as patient as you were. All right, you guys. Thank you, Ashley. I will see you guys tomorrow night, probably around the same time. I'll get on and we'll do some more readings. I think I might theme the nights or something, and I'm going to do different style readings too. It won't always just be this. There's the feng shui readings and things like that are going to come back on Friday nights, and we have the charm readings on Sundays and stuff to kind of mix it up a bit. All right, you guys. She's on something else. Totally. All right, you guys. Have a great night. Thank you. Bye-bye.